What is up, my friends? How are we? You are very welcome along to tonight's FA Cup watch along. The Reds taking on Barnsley, and we also know if we should be victorious tonight, it'll be Brighton and Hove Albion at home in the fourth round of the FA Cup. The team news is on the screen. I'll go through it momentarily. Just want to say a massive thank you to Connor for filling in for me over the last couple of days. I've been really struggling with the old voice and throat, so Connor even jumped on to give you that video around Alonso departing Real Madrid. So tonight we'll try to figure out what that means, if anything. We'll, of course, try to book our place in the fourth round of the FA Cup, unlike United, who, well, they've got the shortest season in their club's history. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about the team news, as I mentioned, and anything else you'd like to go through. Again, appreciate your support, and sorry that I haven't been able to be around for the past couple of days, but I wanted to try and aim to make sure I was ready to go for tonight. So look, team news is in. As you can see on the screen, it's Mamardashvili, Gomez, Van Dijk, Szoboszlai, McAllister, Chiesa, Jones, Gakpo, Robbo, Frimpong and Engamoa. Now, again, we are taking a stab at the formation here, but we'll do our best. So, by the way, if you hear a bit of drilling for a moment or two, apologies. Bit of work just finishing up here at the minute. We're going late this evening. So, we do have Mamardashvili in goal, then Frimpong right back, Robbo at left back, Van Dijk and Gomez are your centre backs, a midfield of Alexis McAllister and Curtis Jones. Then we reckon it's Chiesa, Szoboszlai and Engamoa with Cody Gakpo up top. On the bench for the Reds today, Alisson, Endo, Kanade, Kirkes, Wirtz, Ekitike, Gravenberch, Neoni and Ramsey. So the manager's gone pretty strong, like he said he was going to with this one. So yeah, let us know your thoughts on the starting 11. We'll try to figure out what that Xabi Alonso situation means for the Reds, if anything, because truly I don't know. You know, it was expected that he was going to depart Madrid, but it seems like he's departed Madrid on his own terms. It was he who walked away because of the ego in the dressing room, and he felt like he wasn't getting supported enough by the club. So we'll try and figure out if that has any bearing on Liverpool's future or not. I guess, Connor, if you're watching in the background, could you get a poll up, mate, to ask, would you swap Xabi Alonso for Slot right now if it was on offer? So if you could put that poll up, Connor, that would, yeah. That was out of nowhere. It wasn't really, Claudia. The Madrid thing was always going to happen. You know, we've been talking about it on the channel here for a while, and it's been on the books for a while that if he didn't win the Super Copa, his job could be out the window. And yeah, and now his job is out the window. So we'll wait and see. The Barnsley lineup has just dropped in as well. It's Cooper, Shepherd, the Javingli, O'Keefe, Phillips, Ogbeda, Cleary, Watson, Bland, Kayla Dunn and Jonathan. That's the Barnsley side for tonight. That poll is up now in the chat. Would you swap Alonso for Arne Slot right now? Yes, right now. No, I don't want Alonso, or no, wait until the summer. They are the options available to you. Apologies. I didn't want to cough down the microphone there, but I just need to clear the old throat. Liz, how are we? Happy match day. I want a new manager bounce. WFM. See, Liz, I agree with you, but those that would disagree may say, but hang on, we're already on a bounce. We're unbeaten in 10. We have a bounce going. But I'm with you, Liz. I wouldn't say no. Feels like a no-brainer to me if it's possible. And I've said this a lot of times as well. I actually think that the system that Alonso plays could be adapted if we brought in a couple of centre-backs to one that would work for us. So, look, let's wait and see what happens. It is obviously very early stages in the whole Xabi Alonso development thing, so we will bring you guys more news on it as and when we have it. So, ladies and gents, a couple of things before we get going. If I can, make sure you do get those likes in nice and early for me. We want to make sure we get up to 1,000 likes before kickoff. And yeah, the poll is running. We don't have any big up game tonight, so nothing I'm going to be pushing or anything like that. The thing that I did have up, of course, before we started is we are less than €500 away now. Less than €500 from hitting the target to send Adam over to defend his European Championship. So if you can contribute to that GoFundMe with a small donation, please do so. All the information is on screen. And of course, the link is also in the description of the stream. Less than €500 to go. So excited, and Adam and his family are, of course, extremely grateful for all of your support. Yeah, so feels weird not having been on here for a couple of days now. It feels weird being back, but I'm looking forward to hopefully what should be a straightforward evening. I'm going to say Rio's going to grab a goal. I'm feeling confident about that one tonight, that we're going to see a Rio Engamoa goal. Lots of talk as well about potentially Chiesa moving back to Juve. I'll take you through some of the Liverpool news in a couple of moments. Xabi can afford to wait. He'll get a good payoff. He's already gone. There's no need for him to wait. He's left. Done and dusted. Yeah, this isn't conjecture. This is done. So, lots of different journalists. But for instance, Fabrizio Romano has said that he's left. So, yeah, there's nothing to wait for. It's done and dusted. I sent it on to Connor a little bit ago. Romano, breaking, Alonso leaves Real Madrid with immediate effect. And again, a couple of other reports suggesting it's because the egos in the dressing room, Andy didn't feel he was being backed enough there at the club. I wonder how Mr. Alexander-Arnold feels, considering, you know, he was one of the reasons he went over there. But hey-ho, it is what it is, I guess. Would you take Xabi right now, Craig? Well, would I take Xabi right now? Yes, I think I would. Xabi would be in my top 5 if I was to pick coaches. You know, if I was to sit down with a pen and paper and try to figure out the best 5 managers possible that I could put together for Liverpool, Alonso's name will be in that mix. I don't view his time at Real Madrid as any type of black mark against his managerial career whatsoever. I don't, because Madrid is just a basket case of a club. So, yeah, I don't view this as a mark against his managerial credentials whatsoever. You know we managed Sociedad's B team, did well with them. We know, of course, what he did with Bayer Leverkusen, the invincible season he had with those. Good Champions League qualification periods as well. Bringing on the likes of Wirtz, Frimpong. And I'm sure I wouldn't be on my own in saying that, yes, I would take Alonso. But what I don't know is, and this is genuinely the truth, I haven't got a clue whether to get our hopes up on it or whether the club are going to stick with Arne and believe in Arne. That I don't know the answer to. You know, I've told you my information was that he'll be gone by the summer, and I still think that is the case. But right now, I couldn't sit here and tell you whether there are those at Anfield trying to get on the blower to Alonso to see what the situation is. Although, believe it or not, there's already been reports that United could be interested. But come on now, surely he's not that silly to take that job. Cameron Brooks said, I didn't like saying this, but is the Bradley injury a blessing for Chiesa? It might get more game time. No, I don't think it is a blessing for him. I don't think it'll make any difference for Chiesa because they operate in very different positions. The Conor Bradley situation we know is one that he's going to require surgery, but it isn't a torn ACL or anything, but it is a season ender, unfortunately. I guess the real question is, you know, are Liverpool going to start second guessing now the future of the likes of Conor Bradley because these, you know, consistent injuries that he's picked up, this being obviously a long-term one. So, you know, there's been a few links to the likes of, Julian Ryerson from Dortmund is one of the links that I've seen today for the Reds. Liverpool are looking at Dortmund's Julian Ryerson as the answer to their right-back crisis, according to a couple of reports. So, again, we'll wait and see with that one. Right, what else we got on this Chiesa? So Tuttosport and Sky Italia have said Juventus have made a loan deal to Liverpool for Federico Chiesa, but talks focusing on the return are turning on an option to buy clause into an obligation, potentially conditioned by appearances, to assess Chiesa's fitness and integration. So we will, of course, bring you more information on that as and when we have it, with the possibility of Federico Chiesa and maybe his departure from the Reds this winter or not. Johnny said, concerning that Slot doesn't trust Nioni to start against Barnsley, would have liked to see Will Wright make the bench too. At least we get to watch Rio. Yeah, so Will Wright is an interesting one, and I know he played for the 21s on Friday or Saturday. So, yeah, I would have wondered, was he going to be on the bench today as well? But the manager did say that he was going to go strong, and, you know, he has gone strong. So, clearly he feels there's enough time between this and then the game coming up against Burnley at the weekend. So, look, I'm just happy because I don't want us going to have another competition early doors. I was still pissed off about the League Cup one. And this is a competition that, is one of the domestic cups that we're still in, so let's keep going. Concerning the slot, we've done that one already, sorry. It's tough because I would have liked to see Trey Leone in this one myself, especially alongside some of the more senior midfielders like Curtis Jones, McAllister. I thought putting Trey Leone in there would have been sensible play. But, he is on the bench, so I do expect to see him get some minutes today. But like yourself, maybe a little bit disappointed. It's hard, though, because in one breath, I can't moan at the manager for going weak. And then when he goes strong, still give out about it. So I'm happy with the team he's put out there. I hope we can get some players like Leone on in the second half and get them some minutes. Hopefully we can win the game early doors. But there's two kinds of pressures, because now we've gone strong. The pressure's there to go and make sure we make easy work of it. We see what Manchester City did, for example, winning 10-1 in their game and others. So we need to make sure first and foremost we go out there tonight and get the job done early, and then fingers crossed the manager can look to his bench and maybe we see the likes of, let's have a look who's on there. We'll see Ekitike, I'm sure. Maybe get some minutes back into his legs towards the end of the game. Trey Leone, of course, we want to see on. Maybe we see Calvin Ramsey get some minutes at right back. Other than that, Endo may get reintroduced to get some minutes back into his legs as well as he's working back to fitness. Can I run through the bench? Yes, certainly can. The Liverpool bench today is Alisson, Endo, Canade, Kirkes, Wirtz, Ekitike, Gravenberch, Leone and Ramsey. That's the Liverpool bench today. So once again, that is Alonso, Endo, Canade, Kirkes, Wirtz, Ekitike, Gravenberch, Leone and Ramsey. That is your Liverpool bench. Shane, so Real Madrid sack a manager. They haven't. He walked, but we'll keep going. And have an appointment on the same day because they had a contingency plan. Meanwhile, we spend a week to figure out if we want Carrick or Ole for the interim job. It is a mad one, Shane. I'll give you that one, bro. It is a mad one. I don't even... Who did Madrid... Is it Arbeloa? I don't know who they put in. I know they were talking to potentially Arbeloa going in. But honestly, mate, I haven't really been following anything today because it's been a bit of a busy day for us young lads at the dentist and lots of other bits and pieces. So, yeah, busy day here at the Houlden house. I did know Alonso had gone. But on the United thing, so I guess the problem is with Carrick, if it goes well, is there going to be a temptation there? Because, Carrick, obviously another former Manchester United great, because he's a wonderful midfield player in his day for Spurs and United and England, of course. So would the temptation be there then to maybe not go into the summer window and pick up another coach if he did well? So it is an intriguing one. But Shane, I think you can go even deeper, mate, if you go back, because it seems like United haven't learned their lesson twice. So with Ten Hag, they could have sacked him. But then they say, we won the FA Cup and they didn't want to let him go. So they backed him again in the market, then sacked him. So they spent money in the transfer market to suit a manager, then sacked him. So then they bring in Ruben Amorim, who, by the way, didn't want to come in halfway through the season. But United kind of told him it was now or never. So we thought, look, this is a huge job. I want to take it. So we had a go at the United job. Then, was backed in the market. And then there was a decision to be made on him. And he gets fired. So it just feels like it's still not right at Manchester United, Shane, behind the scenes in the hierarchy of the club. And with the Amorim one, it feels like it was more of a battle of egos between the likes of Omar Barada and Jason Wilcox than maybe failures of the manager. I don't know. Surprised Ramsey isn't starting to protect Jeremy. So am I. So I have to say, so am I. Or even Gomez. Yeah, maybe, like I said, Gomez could have played it right back. That could have been an option as well. I guess, yeah. I wouldn't expect him to play the whole game, though, for Impong. Again, I'm sure the manager's thinking, let's go win this in the first hour, get Jeremy off as quick as we can, get Calvin Ramsey on there, some of the younger players, and then rest the lads up for Burnley. It's my birthday, said Altogra. Happy birthday, my friend. Happy birthday to you, and many happy returns. I hope you've had a wonderful day so far. Uh, Webster, 69, upgraded to Anfield Agenda Ultras. Appreciate you becoming an Ultras member, my friend. Thank you so much for your continued support. To all of you, thank you so much. You know, the channel keeps pushing on and pushing ahead, and we do appreciate your support greatly. So thank you for coming again and joining us tonight for this one. It's a tough one to know what to expect other than perhaps a victory. You know, I think we can be confident that we should be getting a win tonight. Ambient Noises said Alonso didn't work at Madrid because his team of divas who refused to listen to his demands. So there was something that stood out to me, bro, when I read it a while back that backs up exactly what you've said. And it was something along the lines of, and I'm paraphrasing here, that Carlo Ancelotti didn't really mind if the lads, you know, played a game and then went out partying or went off to Ibiza or whatever. And Alonso wanted to kind of cut that crap out and start holding people to account and start making them live the lives of a professional athlete. And apparently, according to the reports, the Madrid divas didn't want that. And this is why I keep saying that club is the antithesis of everything Liverpool are, which is what makes it even more egregious to me that Trent went. Because they're a club that are everything wrong about modern football for me. It's all about individuals. It's all about the appearance. It's all about grandeur. It's all about being Billy Big Bollocks. Whereas Liverpool's is more, you know, humble in its roots, in its operation, just the way it is, the way it carries itself, the way the players carry themselves. It is about the team. It is about the club. It's not about the individual. So, yeah, it's not. Look, I'm not one bit surprised that Alonso's gone already. No, not at all. What surprises me is that anybody takes the job. Because how many times do you hear a manager, and I'm sure Xabi will have said the same, saying, you don't turn down Madrid when they come knocking. The only thing I can think of is that getting fired from Madrid isn't a black mark on your CV. Because it's kind of like, well, you got to manage Madrid. Nobody lasts there. And I know Alonso walks in this and get fired, but I don't know why anyone takes it. You know, you barely have time to unpack the suitcase before the white handkerchiefs are out and they're looking for you to go. Let's remember this. He was basically given the Spanish version of the fucking Community Shield to prove himself or he's going to be fired. It didn't matter that they were on a win and run in the league. It didn't matter that they were in a decent position to catch up, that they're still in the Champions League. They basically said, if you don't win this glorified charity shield that we've all sold our souls to move over to Saudi for the tournament and create a little mini tournament, then you're fired. Imagine that. Imagine Liverpool firing a manager off the back of the Community Shield. Or giving out about a manager off the back of a Community Shield loss. Because that's all the Super Cup is. Well, we have a trend, said Shane. Dutch manager sacked, Portuguese manager sacked, ex-player is interim, gets permanent job, sacked, Dutch manager sacked, Portuguese manager sacked, ex-player is interim. Wonder what comes next. Wonder what comes next, Shane. But also, isn't Carrick still the Madrid coach? Or not Madrid, Middlesbrough coach? Or have I don't pay much attention to the Championship, so is he going to give up the Middlesbrough job, or has he already been fired from that to go in and be interim at Manchester United? Because if he's given up the interim job to go in and be the job at Middlesbrough to go be Manchester United interim, that's just stupidity. I don't get that one bit. Where's this one? Somebody asked me something. Where was it gone? When's the new studio ready to be revealed? I told you, it's going to be a couple of months yet. The new studio won't be getting shown to anyone until it's 100% absolutely bona fide, ready to move into lock, stock and barrel, and there's a lot of work still to go on. The building aspect is coming to an end. We're at the very, 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 very end of that. But then it's about the kit out and the fit out and the painting and the fixtures, and that's going to take another couple of months. So yeah, probably be March before you see me in there. But like I've said, I've never been in any rush to be in it. I want it to be right before we start working in there. Oh, he was sacked at the end of last season. Okay, well then that makes sense. If he was sacked at the end of last season, then I can totally understand Carrick taking the interim job. Yeah, that makes sense. If he was still working at Middlesbrough and he hadn't been fired, then it wouldn't have made any sense to me whatsoever. But yeah, look, I think it's a steady appointment. Let me say that. You know, if there is an understanding that it is an interim gig for Carrick, I would say that's a steady appointment for United to get through the interim. Yes, certainly a man that knows the club, a man that would hold the respect of the dressing room. Yeah, decent show. Far better than bringing Ollie back in. That would have been like, I would have made sure United became a laughing stock if Ollie came back in, Shane. Let me put it that way. Stargirl, how are you, my friend? Hey, Craig, glad to see Rio playing. Dad still thinks he reminds him of John Barnes with him taking players on. Love to see Alonso as our manager. Well, let's wait and see. Right, here's one. So, Sport Bible says, Xabi Alonso and which club he preferred out of Bayern, Madrid and Liverpool. I would say Liverpool. It was strange because I thought I'd feel at home in Madrid due to it being my country. But compared to Liverpool, it wasn't. Liverpool is like my second home. Don't be saying things like that, Xabi. Don't be saying things like that. That quote's in 2017, by the way, but that is still mad to think about. Like, so many players come and fall in love with Liverpool as a city and still call it home to this day, you know. So many people who come in, like even Salah with his kids, like his two kids and his missus, they just love the city. You know, Paco Ayestaran that was there with Rafa as well, and Rafa, you know. I don't blame them one bit. Scouse people absolute salt of the earth, so I'm not at all surprised Alonso felt at home. And from what I remember about Alonso's time, you could often, find him down on the docks. I think he had an apartment down around that area, and he used to like to take in some of the restaurants, the museums, the galleries, and just a proper lad. So I don't know what. Let's see what the poll says though. So we asked, would you swap Alonso for Arne Slot right now? Yes, right now 64%. No, I don't want Alonso 9%, or wait until the summer 26%. So what's that? 70. So 91% in one way or the other so far want Alonso, but even the majority wanted to wait till or want it now. We'll leave that go up over 3,000 votes, and then we'll knock it on the head. So again, just so everybody knows and is aware, the FA Cup draw has already been made. And should Liverpool get through tonight, Liverpool will face Brighton at home in the fourth round. Brighton. Who did Brighton knock out again? I can't quite remember. It's on the tip of my tongue. It's some club that have now got the shortest history since World War I of a season. It's a club that were a big club once upon a time. I think they don't have a manager. Somewhere I read something about a leaky roof, undercooked chicken. Oh, it's that lot. It's the lot that used to be the most successful team, but aren't anymore. Yeah, it's United. Yeah, sorry, it's United. My apologies. I think time is changing. I think all managers from top six will be from former players. The trust in them is just crazy. What's your take on it? It is an interesting one because if you go back and look, so Mourinho never had a stellar playing career. Slot had a decent but not stellar playing career. Jurgen, decent but not stellar playing career. Wenger, decent but not stellar playing career. So there was a while there where, there was a lot of top coaches coming through who had played the game but never really made it all the way. I don't think, though, personally, just because you are a former player, it adds more weight into it. But what I would say is, if you look at Xabi Alonso as an example, it's no surprise to anybody that he went into management. You could see that it was always going to be something that he would go into and something that he was always going to succeed in because, you can just tell with some people. The one that I would have bet my life on, and I would have been wrong about it, but if you would have asked me when Carroll was retiring if he was going to become a coach, I would have put any amount of money on it. Now, of course, he went into punditry, which is probably a lot less stressful, but I would have thought he would have been a coach, definitely. Alonso, yeah, look, you've got Alonso, of course, then you've got Zidane. He obviously went in there at Madrid, did so well, back to back to back Champions Leagues. And a lot of form, Vincent Company, another one, doing really well there at Bayern Munich as well. So, yeah, no surprise that maybe, as footballers are a little bit more focused on their life after football. They're starting to do their badges earlier. They're starting to pay more attention to the coaching setups and things like that, even during their playing time. So maybe coaches are, or players are a little bit more forward thinking now than maybe they would have been 15, 20 years ago. I don't know. Cruyff, oh, what a man Johan Cruyff was, and I think it wasn't his son Jordi, was he just made the technical director at Ajax as well recently, if I'm not mistaken. Although the only thing I'll ever remember Jordi Cruyff for, not Johan but Jordi, was for being part of the Alaves team that we beat in the UEFA Cup with the was it golden goal or silver goal when we beat them. That's the only time I really remember about Jordi, was that he played for Alaves against us that time. Pep had a highly accomplished playing career. He did indeed, Shane. Yeah, absolutely. Um, we are seeing more and more of it. It's definitely a pattern that the gentleman that put in the comments certainly made a fair point on. Yeah, I'm trying to think of a few more though. So, who do we think from the breed that plays now, for instance? Like, is there any Liverpool players that you think in the current Liverpool setup now will go on to become coaches or managers at the high level in the future? I mean, think it through. Virgil. Could I see a world where Virgil becomes a coach in the future? Probably. Do I think he'll make it to the very top as a coach? No, I don't, for what it's worth. Um, Milner would be a good one, but would Milner be a head coach? Because I reckon Jimmy Milner be a great number two. Um, Robbo could be a good show. Robbo could be a very good show. Hmm. Tough. There's not. I don't think there's too many from our current group. Soboslai. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. See, I guess as well with the modern day footballer, it's not really a financial thing, really, is it? So if we're talking about the top players like your, um, let's say your Jimmy Milner's, right? They don't need to do it for the finances of it anymore. It used to be coaches that came through that were former players. They weren't paid as much as the modern players are. So these days, if you have, let's say, a 12-year playing career at a decent level, you're probably financially set for life. So it's either a love of the game or boredom that you probably still want to carry on through with it. See, Allison, I can definitely see becoming a goalkeeping coach. I could definitely see Allison doing that. Yeah, very much so. I could see Allison, and I'd say Allison gives you the vibe that he'd be an incredible goalkeeping coach as well, like an incredibly articulate and very minor detail focused. I think he'd be a great coach. Thiago, yeah, Thiago's a great show. Did you see Paqueta going back to flamenco? No, I didn't. But I do love it though. I have to say, I do love it when players like that. I mean, we spoke about it on the channel a few times, that there's a chance that Alisson ends up back at Internacional in Brazil at some point. And I've seen a few players do. I do love that happens. I really do. So, Paqueta going back to flamenco, probably a few years earlier in his career than what you would have expected, but it is nice. I do like when a career goes full circle like that and the player goes back to where it all started with them for a little while. Why do you think Alonso done better than Gerrard as a manager? Both great players. Of course, I have to guess this because I haven't been coached or been in a dressing room with either of them. But both, I'd say, would be very commanding figures that you would walk into a dressing room and immediately have their respect, or give them the respect, I should say. because it's Steven Gerrard and Xabi Alonso. You know, it's two dudes that walk in there and you know they know what they're talking about. But Alonso always struck me as more of a deep thinker than Steven Gerrard. Maybe a little bit more articulate than Steven Gerrard. And Gerrard might be better man motivator, let's say, than Alonso. I don't know. But I think Alonso, I could imagine staying up at night trying to figure stuff out, where Stevie, again, I don't know him, but he seems like a more kind of chilled person a little bit in that regard. But yeah, other than that, I don't really know. It is interesting to follow Gerrard's career, because did well with us, did really well up at Rangers, and it just feels like the Villa job is the one that really makes him look bad because of what Emery did coming in after him. And it's almost like I think a lot of people could have forgiven Gerrard for the Villa job if Unai Emery hadn't come in and so quickly turned that around to show what a coach that kind of has it all can do. I think that's the damning part for Steven Gerrard. Like if let's say Brendan Rodgers or something came in to Aston Villa after Gerrard and it didn't go quite as well, I don't think it would reflect as badly on Gerrard as it has done because of Unai Emery. Craig, do you think if Klopp didn't get the success at our club, would Klopp still be with us? I miss his brand of heavy metal football. Slow down, slot ball is so boring. I didn't think it was the success. I think for the likes of Jurgen, and you can kind of see it at times with Pep. You can start to see it with Arteta. You could see it with Jose Mourinho. It takes a lot. Like if you're at one of the top clubs and you have the kind of power and control that a Pep has, that a Jurgen had, that a Mourinho would have had, that takes it out of you. Because you're not just dealing with the player side of it. You're dealing with the public side of it. You're dealing with the interviews. You're dealing with the player recruitment. It ages people so quickly. And the stress and the pressure, day after day, that a top-level football coach, particularly in the Premier League, is under, it must be an incredible strain on them, emotionally, physically, and it must take toll on their personal lives as well. So, when Klopp said, I'm exhausted, and I want to give it up, I can totally understand it. You look at him and you think, yeah, man, I get it. And then I think, if I remember correctly, he was mindful of his father passing away, and he wanted to make sure that he spent some good quality time with Ula and his family. And I respect that. Yeah, no issues with it. I wish it didn't happen the way it did for us, and maybe it was a little bit different in the timing. But I could totally always understand it. I can always understand it, because you can see how, watch their hair go grey quite quickly as well. Could see United trying to go for Xabi now. But honestly, are you going to take that job if you're Alonso? You're not. Because the next job has to be a carefully chosen one. And there's no way he's going to be stupid enough. Because if he goes in and takes the United job, he knows that rules him out of the Liverpool job ever. And I do mean ever. Because that's not going to happen. So for Xabi Alonso right now, I don't know what happens next for him. But I'd kill to be a fly in the wall in John W. Henry's office. Because it has to be a conversation. It would be wrong if it wasn't a conversational topic right now between Hughes, Edwards, John W. Henry, Tom Werner, Mike Gordon, and the rest of the higher ups that run our club. You'd have to say that this will be interesting. So that's why I'm so intrigued to see what you guys think might happen, because I don't know what happens. Alonso might decide that he doesn't want to come into a new job halfway through a season, and he might decide that, okay, I'll take another job in the summer, but it will be in the summer. Or does Alonso, get put in a situation like United put Amorim in, where we want you now. If you're not willing to come in now, then the job mightn't be yours. Or would it suit everybody if Arne gets fired in the summer and Alonso comes in? Honestly, I think the most likely outcome would probably be us to finish the season with Arne, if he doesn't win a big trophy like the Champions League, fire him and then already have Alonso lined up. That's my guess at how this goes. But what I would do right now is fire him tomorrow morning and get Alonso in if Alonso is willing to come in. Because that's one thing we did speak about, right? A lot over the last few months is, well, there's nobody else out there. Who would you get? Who would you go for? That's been a lot of the argument from people who would say, okay, fair enough on Arna, but, you know, do rightly ask then, well, then who do you turn to? Now that we have a potential answer, it'll be interesting to see what happens and what the narrative starts to form in the fan base. I could see Salah being our manager in the future. The younger players already look up to him. If he won the league and be the first African manager to win it, I just don't see Mohamed Salah becoming a coach. I don't. I see. I don't know how to really describe this to you, but if you follow boxing, you will have seen Manny Pacquiao. And you will have seen that Manny Pacquiao went on to become a Filipino senator and a few other things as his boxing career came to an end. And I can see Mohamed Salah becoming, I won't quite say a political figure, but a figurehead that can use his influence for the good of the Egyptian people and the good of world politics and peace, if that makes any sense. So yeah, I can see Mo maybe going into working with the United Nations or UNICEF or something where he can use his positive and his influence for the good of the world, because that's the type of dude he strikes me as, rather than going into management. But again, could be completely wrong on that. Hey Craig, how are you feeling, mate? Also, Alonso, fire. How am I feeling? Like absolute dirt. In all honesty, man, I've got um, a really bad throat with an inflamed uvula, or is that what it's called? Uvula? The dangly thing at the back of my throat feels like someone's nuts are dangling in my throat. So I've been taking loads of medicine to try and calm that down over the past couple of days to make sure I could do the watch along. So yeah, not great, but getting there. We're getting there. But on the Alonso stuff, fingers crossed, mate. Fingers crossed something comes of it. Please send the prayer for the brave people of Iran. Absolutely. Look, I'm not a religious person, but I do understand what's going on in Iran, and I wish everybody safety and good health. But again, I try to not talk about politics on the channel whatsoever, because it's something that is not the right forum for it. One second. What's this? So Arne Slot on his team selection today said, I don't think we're able to make much more changes than this, because, as you know, we don't have that many players available. So as a result of that, we made a few changes, but a few have to start as well that have started so many games already. Has anybody seen anything written about city clears? I don't know what the fuck that means. If you could put it in a sentence, mate, could you try to make it one that we can comprehend? Yeah, city clears. I don't know what that means. Sorry, you will see me muting the microphone and coughing quite a bit as I need to clear my throat, but I won't be coughing down the mic, so bear with me. I do need to take my inhaler though, so bear with me 1 second. Cool. Good to go. Good to go. Right, let's check our poll. Where are we up to with it? So we've gone over 4,000 votes, so we'll knock it on the head. And we asked, would you swap Xavi Alonso for Arne Slot right now? And the results, ladies and gentlemen, are as follows. Yes, 63%, I would do it right now. Wait till the summer, 27%. And no, I don't want Alonso, 10%. So 90% want Alonso either now or in the summer, but 63% right now. Cheers for everyone that voted. Really do appreciate your support on that one. So if you can, do hit that like button for me. We need 351 to go before the game gets underway in 17 minutes. Toddy lad said, Craig, love your work. Thank you. I've noticed that it's uploaded to Spotify. All that's uploaded to Spotify now is the podcast, which I'm loving, by the way. But is there any chance you could put the stream audio back up? Connor, that was a conscious decision made by Connor. And I'll explain it to you because, you know, Toddy, we love full transparency on the channel here and I never tried to hide that from you. So the reasoning why the podcast audio was only going back up is because for us it's important on Spotify to try to focus on the growth of the podcast and its own unique thing. And what we noticed was when we uploaded all the audio from all of our streams to Spotify, the podcast wasn't getting anywhere near as many views as we'd hoped. But when we took down all the other audio and left the podcast up there alone, that was growing quicker. So it was a decision made based off the evidence that we'd gathered over the short time it was up. So yeah, that's the reason why it's only the podcast that it's up on Spotify, because basically it was impacting the growth and the charting, because now the podcast is charting on the Spotify podcasts, but it wasn't when we had all the audio up. So yeah, it was a conscious decision. Yeah, that's the absolute ins and outs of it. So basically, what I'm trying to say is, I hope you understand where we're coming from on it. We were just trying to make sure that we can look at the podcast as a unique entity and try to grow on its own merit. Also this from Arna on Frimpong playing at right back. He said, we know Bradley is out for a long time. That's a big blow for him. He had his injuries almost last season and this season. We're hoping that he would stay fit because he was progressing. You can see that in our last line. We don't have a lot of options anymore, but now with the players that are out. So again, totally can't argue with the manager on that decision. You know, it's been so unfortunate what's happened with Conor Bradley. And of course we wish Conor a full and speedy recovery. But I'm intrigued to see what the club will do long term now. Because as much as I'd be an advocate for Conor Bradley, and for many reasons, but I could understand, you know, how much more patience the club can show with that situation. I really don't know. Because I love Bradley. I love his attitude. I love the fact he's obviously from the same island that I'm from. I love the fact that he plays for Liverpool. I love everything about the kid. But the injuries are frequent, and yeah, I just don't know, man. I just don't know about his long-term future. And it would only be an injury-based thing, which is so unfair because we know what talent he has. So Kylian Mbappe posting about Xavi Alonso said, it's been short, but it was a pleasure to play for you and learn from you. Thank you for giving me the confidence since day one. I remember you as a manager who had clear ideas and how many things about football. Best of luck in your next chapter. The absolute fucking state of the Madrid players. Honestly, the fact that they even have the cheek to go on there and write that is a disgrace. Any of them. Because they ran him out of the club. And I'm not saying it was Mbappe because I don't know exactly who it was. But it is player power. They're just taking the piss. Just say nothing. And that's more respectful than the bullshit you've just posted. Sebastian. How are you, Sebastian? Said, hey Craig, Alonso, sure. But if Enrique is on the market, it has to be him. Wishful thinking, of course. But similar style of play. Come on, the Reds. I don't think... I'm with you, by the way. Would love Luis Enrique, but he's just not going to be on the market. they want to keep him at Paris Saint-Germain for as long as possible. But in a heartbeat, he would be top of my choice as well. But I just don't think it's possible. Do you think Wirtz being here is what helped Dom improve? No, I think just Dom time settling in. I think Dominic Szoboszlai should be a good example for people who are maybe jumping down Wirtz's throat or others of sometimes it takes a guy a year to settle into a new club, and now we're starting to see the very best of Dominic Szoboszlai. What I have noticed though, in a kind of similar idea, is you can see the relationship on the pitch between Wirtz and Frimpong, and that they've already had that pre-existing relationship from the time together at Leverkusen. You can totally see that impacting in a positive way. This one from Finley said, "Hey Craig, Alonso and Gay in and to a back three." Well, I wouldn't say no to anything you've written there, mate. I'd be very much on board with all of it. But look, I don't know what's gone on with Mark Gay in that situation. Again, it could come down to what City do. We've seen City obviously go in there and get Antoine Semenyo, of course, on a 5.5-year deal. So let's wait and see. Since the transfer window was open, what was your most exciting goosebump signing Liverpool ever? Mine was Thiago Alcantara. Ever? It's got to be Virgil. Yeah, it's got to be Virgil. I didn't, when we signed Luis Suarez as an example, I didn't know quite how good Luis Suarez was going to be. When we signed Fernando Torres, I knew we were getting a good player, but I knew when we signed Virgil van Dijk that was the centre-back we needed to really transform us from a team that always had good attacking intent, but was leaking goals. So I have to say him. Another one which I've got to put my hands up to because I've spoken about before was Harry Kewell. I was extremely excited when we signed Harry Kewell. Of course, that didn't work out as well. But I would say Florian Wirtz is in the mix as well, because he would have been on my list of dream signings that I didn't think was possible. VVD or Ali. So on the Alisson Becker one, I'm going to put my hands up to this. I didn't expect Alisson Becker to be anywhere near as good as Alisson Becker's been, because I had very little understanding of his history before we signed him, other than when we played Roma. And when we played Roma, of course, we buried a load of goals in. So yeah, I've got to say, I didn't in any way expect Alisson Becker to be as good as he is and has been. So that was a very good, pleasant surprise for me. But with VVD, I just knew, not just me, but all of us knew what we were getting. How are we, sir? Said, yo, what's up? Love your content. Keep it up. Thank you. And thank you for being with us for 4 months, excuse me. Yeah. Appreciate you, my man. Thank you for your support. Paddy Wacker said, Craig, I don't like writing this, but if I was Mark A, personally, under no circumstances would I sign for a club slot was managing. But what if you were told, if you were Mark A, that the manager wasn't going to be here in the summer, but you had to sign now because we needed you to sign now? Then would you do it? I get where you're coming from. Look, I'm in no way won over by Arnott again or anything like that. I'm very grateful for the results we've had, and the 0-0 draw at Arsenal was a result that really, really did please me. The performance and how rigid we were pleased me. How much we frustrated them pleased me. How much we controlled the second half pleased me. And there was definitely some good things, but it wasn't enough to turn me back around. I don't know if I am really winnable when it comes to figuring out the situation with Arnold. I think he just needs to go. And I'm almost... No. Like, if he won the Champions League, you could hardly sack him. But I'd be frustrated going into next season then, even if he did win it, because I just don't like the style and I don't like the way he has us playing. If we don't get Xavi now, sack them all, said Sonder. Well, we know he's available, dude. That's one thing that was in the, we had many conversations where people said, but who do you bring in? Or, there's nobody available now. Well, now we know there is a man available. And if I would dare say that man would be willing to take the job now as well. So it's going to be an interesting couple of weeks, and I'm looking forward to seeing what the Liverpool-based media start to write about the Alonso situation over the coming days, and I'll certainly be on the phone trying to find out as much as I can. Who's your top free transfer? Mine is Aurelio. The answers for me would be Joel Matip, James Milner, or Gary McAllister. They would be the free transfers that I think made the biggest impact at Liverpool. So yeah, Matip, Milner, and Gary Mack would be the three for me. What would change your mind on Arne Slot's position at Anfield? A better style of football, first and foremost. Genuinely, a better style of football. I find it dull and boring, the way that we play. And I find that everything that comes out of his mouth after games contradicts what we're after seeing out there on the pitch. So, yeah, results, of course, are one thing, but style of play is definitely another one. So this just sent to me, City are intent on persuading both Gay and the club to do deals now and are prepared to match other offers. The 25-year-old England international is understood to be open to the move to Manchester City, and that's from Miguel Delaney. So, yeah, look, Liverpool, I've said this to you guys all December, non-stop. You're probably sick of hearing it come out of my mouth. But I said, go out there and get Mark A the minute the window opens. And if you don't, you're running the risk. And now we're running the risk because City are willing to pay the money. So if Liverpool don't go out there now and do everything they can to get Mark A, head should roll. Simple as that. There is no excuse not to get a centre-back this month. None. The fact we're almost halfway through the month and it hasn't been done in and itself is a disgrace. Folks, we've got 4 minutes. We need 155 more likes to go. Do hit that like button for me if you can. And of course, don't forget, we'll be taking you through the game, come what may, with a match reaction and player ratings video coming up as well. If you'd like to make sure that you can submit your player ratings for a player ratings video, scan the QR code in the bottom right hand corner, which will bring you to the Anfield Agenda WhatsApp. You can also access the WhatsApp with the link in the description of the stream. And if you'd like to make a small donation, Adam and Dylan have been selected to represent Team Ireland in the European Championships, which will be held in Serbia in February. They're both twins who are competing on the MMA circuit for a number of years. To be picked to represent our country again means the world to them, but unfortunately MMA is not a recognised sport in Ireland, meaning no funding is available. We've been trying to help raise the €3,500 needed to get the guys over to compete, and we are just €500 or so short of that target. So if you can scan that QR code and make a small donation to that GoFundMe or use the link in the description, that would make a huge difference to both of them. Adam is a multi-time national European champion and a world championship runner-up already. Enrique on the market at the end of the season now. Thought he was leaving PSG. I think he's turned down a contract offer that's been put forth to him, but I think more will be coming. Like, PSG want to keep him, but I don't know, what's going to happen there with Enrique. Look, if Enrique could come to Liverpool in the summer, I'd be more than happy to wait through Arne Slot and go and get Luis Enrique in the summer. But if that isn't something that's bona fide nailed on, Alonso's got to be surely the obvious candidate. Unless, of course, you're in the camp of not wanting to move the manager on, in which case, understand that completely as well. Stu said, seeing some saying Slot isn't trusting youth, we put a second string out, people go mad too. So, on this one, Stu, I think you and I actually agree. For once, bro, I think we agree. It is a tough one. He's given Rio a chance, so that is some youth. I think the one player people are probably talking about more than others, though, is Neoni. I think that's probably the only one, Stu, that people think he should have maybe thrown in today. But, I just want us to win the game. It's as simple as that, mate. And an ideal scenario for me here would be Liverpool to go win the game nice and early and then start to look to the bench and bring on some of the players. So, regards to Luis Enrique and that offer being rejected, that was a fake quote, by the way, just to put your minds at ease on that one. So there was a report going around the other day saying Luis Enrique rejected a contract offer from Paris Saint-Germain. That was fake. So yeah, don't put that into your mind. That was a fake quote. Right, so really quickly, ladies and gents, let's run you through the Liverpool 11 again. There's Marmardashvili in goal, then it's Frimpong at right back, Andy Robertson at left back. Your centre-back pairings today, your captain Virgil van Dijk and Joe Gomez. In midfield, it is Curtis Jones and it is Alexis McAllister. Then ahead of them, we have Dominic Szoboszlai through the centre. On the left-hand side, Young Rio Engamoa. Right-hand side, Fede Chiesa. And up top, Cody Gakpo. On the bench, Alisson, Endo, Kanade, Kirkes, Wirtz, Ekitike, Gravenberch, Neoni and Calvin Ramsey. That is your Liverpool bench. The opposition lineup, Barnsley, Cooper, Shepherd, De Gavigny, O'Keefe, Phillips, Ogbeta, Cleary, Watson, Bland, Kaylor Dunn and Yoganathan. That is the Barnsley 11. Right, we're about to get underway. Sit back, relax. I'll do my best to take you through the game as always. We'll be here with a match reaction, player ratings video and everything else you would expect on a match day. Just before we get started though, again I want to say a huge thank you to Connor, who really has bailed me out over the last couple of days by doing all the videos and making sure that I could rest up and get a bit of R&R because I was very, very much incapable of working. So really do appreciate him stepping in, and all of your kind comments towards him as well did not go unnoticed. And I think you'll agree, he's doing a brilliant job. So maybe I can retire, huh? Maybe I can become the graphic designer and Connor can do the front of the camera stuff for good. Right, folks, we're underway. We're underway in the FA Cup third round. Barnsley, and you probably hear me, by the way, I called them Burnley about 9 times during the game. So when I do it, you'll know. I've made this mistake so many times. But we are on the way anyway against Barnsley in the FA Cup. Remember, a home tie against Brighton and Hove Albion awaits the winners in the 4th round. And straight away here, Barnsley are on the attack. Cross in. It's hit the post. Oh my days. They hit the post inside the first 30 seconds with a header, and now we've cleared it away, and Szoboszlai's been fouled. First ball into the box, lads. First one. Right, so they come down our right-hand side. Cross comes in. Player gets in between Van Dijk and Gomez, gets a header away, and it comes back off the post, or else we would have been 1-0 down inside a minute. Right, we are now at 1 minute. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10 if you're syncing up. Almost 1-0 down inside a minute. You could make it up. Right, Gomez to Virgil. Liverpool attacking the Annie Road end first half. Andy Robertson. Nothing on there, so he goes back to Virgil. I'm still shaking my head here, lads, because I can't believe we almost went 1-0 down again. Craig, you're the go. Please call up Jabby, man. Much love. Do you know what? You will see in our new studio? Is you'll see a Jabby Alonso shirt hanging on the wall. I think that's going in the new studio. I have one upstairs anyway, ready to go. And I think the plan is for it to go in the studio. But I'm also going to do a Ballon d'Or wall. So I've got a signed Messi jersey, a signed Ronaldinho jersey, a signed Ronaldo jersey, and a signed Kaká jersey, and they're going up on the Ballon d'Or wall in the studio. Barnsley on the attack again here. Cross in. It's headed away by Robertson on the far side. And they've certainly showed an attacking intent here early doors. They're not coming to sit back. Cody Gakpo fell then about 5 yards inside the Liverpool half as Liverpool tried to break out. But yeah, they are showing they're showing attacking threats early here, Barnsley. Frimpong now. Right hand side for the Reds. To Fede. Inside. To Maka. Back to Fede. He takes a heavy touch, cleared away by the Barnsley defender. It'll be a Reds throw in on the far side. I love there was a comment there from somebody who said 29 seconds in and I'm 28 seconds and I'm changing my jeans already. I couldn't believe it, mate. I looked up and I seen the header hitting the post and I thought, oh no, please no. Gomez to Virgil. Back to Maka. Frimpong. Gary Mackay said Liverpool are the Bonnie Blue of football. 11 men trying to stick it in your box. I'll have to take your word on that one, Gary. Would 11 fit? After so many questions I have, Gary. So many questions. Shot here from Dominic Szoboszlai. Takes a wicked deflection, but eventually drops into the keeper's arms. What's happened to the striker, Wright? Will Wright played for the 21s on Friday or Saturday, mate. So he's back fit. He did have an injury, but he is back fit. And yeah, we didn't expect to see him in the team when we'd seen that he was playing for the 21s. But thankfully he is back fit. I wish I had as good news for young Stefan Bajcetic, though, as he's unfortunately out injured again. Gomez. Ooh, heavy touch, Joe. Cross to Virgil. Virgil into Curtis Jones. Again, Liverpool bullied out of possession in the middle of the park. Barnsley find it. It's too easy, lads. We are too fucking easy to get through. Now, Frimpong's jumping over the ball. Again, he's forgetting what he's supposed to do. Barnsley on the attack again. Another cross in. And this time it flies over the crossbar. Lads, we need to wake the fuck up. We're inside the first 5 minutes here and I can already think of 3 very good attacking patterns of play here from Barnsley that could have ended up in us going 1-0 down. Wakey, wakey. Gary, I'm still thinking about those 11 men in the box, mate. I'm still trying to figure out that in the old noggin here. You have me thinking. You'd fit 11 Craigs in there. I guarantee you that one, mate, with what I'm working with. You'd fit 11 me's in there. But, you know, that's not to say somebody who isn't hung like a dormouse might be a bit differently. Another one here. God, I'm already getting the frighteners up. The replay's shown here the chances. Number 40 gets in between Gomez and Van Dijk. Now, to be fair, he was Joe Gomez's man because, you know, Joe Gomez had his vision in front of him. He was behind Virgil. So certainly put more accountability on Gomez for that one. Also really haven't seen us be able to get Rio involved too much at all early doors. Gomez. To Virgil. Rio and Gamoa. Come on, Rio. Just take on 4 or 5 of them there and stick a top bins, mate. We'll talk about it later. Still Rio. Cuts inside. Back to Maka. Saunders said, embarrassing start. Gomez stinker. Right back needed in January. Robbo now. Early cross. Takes a deflection. And will bounce behind for Liverpool corner. Come on, boys. So yeah, Luis Enrique, thank you, Keane, for this as well. Luis Enrique himself came out and said that talk of him turning down a contract offer was rubbish. So thank you to Connor and Keane for sending me that on. Right, here we go. Gakpo to take the corner. Ball in. Goes all the way through on the far side. Chiesa, back to Curtis Jones. Jones puts in a cross, headed away by the Barnsley defence, but it comes through on the left side to Rio Ngamoa. And by the way, you will see a Rio Ngamoa hanging up in the new studio because we do have a framed Rio Ngamoa shirt ready to go. It's in a box and ready to go up on the wall. Szoboszlai. Oh, 1-0 to the Reds. Wow. Wow. Take a bow, Dominic Szoboszlai. 1-0 to the Reds with a typical Dominic Szoboszlai worldie. Wow. That's just class. Doesn't even celebrate it. Just... what a strike. Lads, what a strike. I'll talk you through it again in a second, but 1-0 Liverpool. Frimpong gets the ball, plays to Curtis Jones. Jones rolls it across to Maka. Maka then to Dom. He's about 25 yards out. Bang. Keeper's past the keeper before he even knows it. Gets it out of his feet. Belter. Not even top corner, but far enough past the keeper that he doesn't know what's going up. Bang. Oh, 1-0. What a strike. What a strike. And the good news is, according to a couple of leaks the other day, there's been fairly good progression and a new contract for Dominic Szoboszlai with Liverpool Football Club. So looking bright on that front, but certainly any youngsters that are at the match tonight with their parents or whatever going to maybe watch the first Liverpool game, that's a memory they'll hold dear there. Do you remember, Daddy or Mammy, when you brought me to my first Liverpool game and Dominic Szoboszlai absolutely belted one in from about 25 yards? That's what you want. That's what makes kids fall in love with the game. And again, don't forget, we have a home tie against Brighton coming up in the 4th round. I always do love a home tie in the cup because, of course, anybody who's on the Auto Cup scheme, it gets their chance to go and watch the Reds. Which makes it interesting thinking we could have had Manchester United maybe in the next round if they hadn't gotten knocked out. Oh dear, what a shame. Never mind. Szoboszlai to Robbo. Szoboszlai giving it away now. Barnsley on the attack. And they make a mess of that, put it straight at a play for Liverpool throw-in. The goal and lack of celebration is pure aura. See, the goal, I always do find it interesting whether you celebrate or not, because you're playing a League One team that you're expected to beat and beat comfortably. So you don't want to go over the top and go full Gabriel Martinelli with the celebrations, you know. Szoboszlai. Maka. Cross in. He's seen behind by the Barnsley defender. Goal kick. Why are Liverpool so slow with new contracts? I wouldn't say we're always slow, mate. I mean, they are complicated things in and of themselves. Like, you know, they are. There's lots and lots in these contracts, but I think they're learning their lesson. Obviously, some of the ones that have been run down in recent times have been good enough, so they don't want to make that mistake again with the likes of Dominic Szoboszlai. So, you know, I think starting to talk now is about the right time, which is over 2 years to go. So, but look at that. Pings one out, Diag, right hand side there to Fede. That's awful from Chiesa. It's a simple ball pulled back into the box. I mean, firstly, he delayed it too much that Frimpong had already moved. So that was mistake one there from Fede. And then mistake two was the pass that he did use was too short. And now Macca's given the ball away and Barnsley are on the attack again. Barnsley strike and dragged it wide, thankfully for us. Again, our own mistakes are leading to some counters here, but that came from bad play down the right-hand side. Firstly from Chiesa, and then from Alexis McAllister. Big Chili, sorry mate, I did miss your super chat. Hey Craig, hope you're getting better and the family are well. Enrique or Alonso, poll please. Saw Enrique won't sign a PSG. Well, that one's fake. That quote is fake. It was a build report that was rubbished, and Enrique, a fake build report that was rubbished, and then Enrique himself has come out and said there's no truth to that. But the Alonso thing, as you've seen, we did run a poll beforehand, and it was overwhelmingly. Oh, here goes Rio, left side, bursts into the penalty area, pulls it back. Unlucky. Yeah. So on the Alonso thing, there was 90% of those that voted said they want him. 60-something% now, and the rest said in the summer. So overwhelmingly, yes, it seems like the people in our community would have taken him. Apologies for missing your super chat, mate, before the game. What was the other one that I missed? Done that one. I think it was this one. Arna is at 1% of what Jabby is for me, forever out. And then there was this one, which was well said. Arna Slot is falling down. Arna Slot is falling down. My fair Jabby. Apologies for missing them before the game, folks. Yeah, apologies on, but thank you for letting me know about it. Another strike here from Dominic Soboslai. This time a defender has to put his head in the way and block it. And it goes behind. But yeah, the defender genuinely does seem a little bit dazed here. So it might be worth the ref and the medical team keeping an eye on him, because he certainly felt the effects of that one. Corner in. Strike blocked. Somebody said, how am I watching the game? It's on TNT Sports 1. Tottenham, here we go for Conor Gallagher, confirmed. That's a decent move, that. I'd seen that there was a potential. Is it loan or a permanent? Because I did see that there was some talk of a potential loan. So yeah, that's a good move for Spurs. It's a permanent one. What's the number? Chiesa now, wide, 40 mil? Really? 40 mil? Oh, that seems high. How old is Conor Gallagher? 40 mil. How old is he? Cross in from Rio, cleared away. So there's about 8 different ages gone into the chat there. Someone said he's 28, 25, 26, 25, 25. He's 25. At 25, 40 million. Yeah, that's a good deal. I'd say that's a good deal, lads. I thought he was older than that as well, to be fair. But 25, that's a good deal for Spurs. 40 million for Conor Gallagher, 25, that's a good deal. Yeah, I'd put that in. I don't know if you guys would agree, but I'd say that's a good deal, all right. Virgil, header, a corner from Liverpool across. Virgil heads it. It's cleared by Barnsley. Mac has the second ball. He goes back to Frimpong. I think Conor Gallagher is an underrated player for what he does. I'd kind of put him in the Jordan Henderson camp of, he's probably not like the sexiest on the eye, but what he does out there on a football pitch. But he works his ass off and does a lot of the dirty work that doesn't get a lot of the credit. So good signing that for Spurs, and dare I say, United probably could have had or should have had a look at him. Frimpong, Chiesa, back to Frimpong. Everything Chiesa's doing today, lads, looks that 5-10% off, under hitting, over hitting passes. Szoboszlai out. Frimpong fires one in, headed away. So really quickly, just to gauge your opinion in the chat, is £40 million for Gallagher good? Yes or no? Just have a quick poll running in the chat just to see how you guys think about the deal. So do you think 40 million for Conor Gallagher is a good deal? I'd definitely be in the yes camp. Like, I thought he was older, so 25, it seems... Do you know what? I'm going to go a bit further, lads. I think that seems cheap. He hardly ever plays. What do you expect? I'm not saying it from the point of view of I expected more. I'm just calling things as I see it. It probably explains exactly as you've said that he hasn't played much. Frimpong, Cross. I guess the point I was trying to make was, if you do want to impress the manager, you're going to have to be better than that. But the point you've made about him not really playing much is totally fair as well. Which is kind of the problem that he has, is when you do have limited game time, it's harder to get into a rhythm and harder to show yourself. So you do need a run of games to do that, and he's never really been given that. So, I didn't mean it to sound like I was just knocking Chiesa. I'm just, kind of talking about what I'm seeing out there on the pitch, but what you said's more than fair. Right, here comes the corner. This one's gone out to the edge of the box and it's gone over everybody's head and gone out on the far side. A little bit too much on that one from Dom. He tried to float one towards the edge of the box and either somebody was in the wrong position or it was just completely overhit, but either way it flies out for a throw-in. Isn't it 40 million euros? Oh, I've no idea. £40 million, €40 million. Sorry, my apologies. I just heard 40 million in the chat. Right, let's do it again then. 1 second. Well, it doesn't really matter because most people are saying yes anyway. So, no point in doing another poll. Let's just say it is euro. So it's what, £36 million? Either way, that makes it an even better business, doesn't it? Wow. That's what, 30, 35, £36 million? United should have been all over that. It's not £29 million, man. Jesus Christ. I get paid in sterling quite a bit from companies. I know the exchange rate's not that good. So it's 40 million euro, yeah. So according to Romano, it is definitely 40 million euro, as you guys have said. Wow, that's a great bit of business for Spurs. I don't know what Rio was doing there, but he ran down a blind alley. And then fouled, free kick Barnsley. Wow. 35 million pound is That's wow. I'm genuinely surprised at how good a deal that is. Barnsley on the attack now, down Liverpool's right-hand side. Cross comes in, goes all the way across on the far side, where another Barnsley player brings it and fires in another cross. Loops over everyone's head and Frimpong puts it behind for a Barnsley corner. What's happening with Harvey Elliott? I'd say we call him back. Well, apparently we don't have a break clause, but Villa could cancel it and bring him back in. So one of two things should happen with Elliott. Either Villa end it and he comes back to Liverpool and we try to utilise him, or we agree a deal with Villa that he plays more, but they don't have the obligate. Oh, strike from distance, which Georgie saves. And then cleared by Szoboszlai. So something has to happen to get Elliott playing. So either Liverpool have to say to Villa, look, you've got to play him in the second half of the season, but the obligation is removed, but we need him used. Or Villa say, look, we don't want them. Knock the loan on the head and bring him back to Liverpool and let Arna utilise him for the second half of the season, because we have a duty of care to the kid as well as anything else. And he deserves to be playing. Ooh. Squeaky bum time here as the boys are playing around from the back. Gomez does well, but we nearly walked ourselves into a bit of trouble there. Saunders said that's a below average Szoboszlai goal at this point. He's just scored belters, mate, doesn't he? Rio is Doku coded, and I'm not sure it's a good thing. Rio is so young in his development that I would not expect him to be the finished article and have that final ball perfect all the time just yet. And I think he will become a better player than Jeremy Doku, personally, who is a very good player, but inconsistent. So as of yet in this game, for Rio, I've seen some good and bad in what I've seen so far in the game from young Rio and Gamoa. Some poor decision making about who he takes on and when he takes them on. But no fear. And I like that the kid has no fear in his eyes when he gets on the ball. Good save there from Mamadarsvili on the replay from strike from distance. They've certainly tested our goal, shall we say. Frimpong. He's letting balls bounce, Jeremy, that he just shouldn't be letting bounce, and it's nearly getting him into trouble. Lovely ball there from Maka through the lines to Curtis Jones. Jones now into Gakpo. Gakpo. Should have done better. Gakpo had a one-on-one, cuts onto his right foot, tries to shoot, blocked, falls to Jones. His shot goes wide. Gakpo should have done better in that position. He took too many touches. So Jones plays it in. Gakpo's onside. Just gets it out and gets the block. It's just poor from Gakpo. Should have got a shot away easier on that one. And then Jones' shot goes off a Liverpool player for a goal kick to Barnsley. But again, not great from Cody. Even just the 2 or 3 touches Gakpo took there was too much. Like, a proper striker or a proper attacker in that position just gets one touch out of his free quick and gets a shot away there. Maka. Gomez out right hand side. Chiesa, he cuts in field. Back to Virgil. Dominic Szoboszlai now. Jones back to Dom. Jamie said, I like your content. From a United fan, keep it up, mate. Really, really kind. Really, really kind of you, Jamie. Thank you, bro. Thoughts on energy drinks? My favourite is White Monster. I don't drink them. Yeah, Sonder, don't drink any energy drinks, mate. My missus absolutely guzzles Monster Energy, and she loves that white one you're on about, the Ultra, the Monster Energy Ultra. But she's also, I don't know what it is, but she drinks a pinkish can most of the time. I don't know what strawberry is it. I don't know. I don't pay attention to any of them. I think the last energy drink I had, I was probably in my 20s. That's how long ago it's been. Like, I definitely haven't had one in the last 15 years. Barnsley again getting a cross in that Virgil hooks away. For a couple of reasons. One, the price of them. I just think they're all too overpriced. And yeah, I get my energy boosts or whatever from me coffee. Offside flag goes up there against Barnsley. Free kick Liverpool. Szoboszlai out to Robbo. Back to Dom. What's gotten into Dom playing with some anger? I don't know. Maybe he's just a man on a mission. But I like it. Another. Lads, our defending has not been good enough. Once again, Barnsley player gets a shot away. And thankfully, it's straight at Georgie Mamardashvili who gets down and saves it. But they have had way too many chances on our goal for my liking inside the opening half hour. Yes, we're 1-0 up, but that's another one. That again, Virgil with his fucking aura defending, refusing to get his shorts dirty and making a challenge. There's not enough aggression in our defending, lads. And it's too often. Again, there's no way he should be getting that shot away. Virgil should be getting a block in or a challenge. Just not good enough. Jones. Like, he should have gotten that fright in the first 30 seconds where they nearly scored from a header. They hit the post. Chiesa. Jones. Chiesa. He tries to strike. Blocked. Second ball's up in the air. Flicked on. Barnsley defender. It's back with the keeper. In your 20s during the war then, Craig. I tried not to mention it. So I mentioned it once, but I think I got away with it. During the war. I'm not quite that old, mate. Not quite that old. Do you know what I mean? I'm a mere 39.5. I refuse, by the way, if you're new to the channel and you ever hear me talk about my age and that fact, once I got to 39, that was it. I was deciding I'm never getting older than 39. So everything after 39 is just a software update. So it's just a new version. So now I'm Craig version number 39.5. Szoboszlai. Back to Maka. Szoboszlai. Chiesa. Jones. Little 1-2. I'll give you a funny story. So, well, maybe it's not that funny. I'll give you an anecdote. So, I used to play tennis quite a bit when I was growing up as well as football. And I was a member of a couple of tennis clubs. And one of them was Westwood Tennis Club up at Leopardstown Racecourse. Oh, that'll be a yellow card for Joe Gomez. Stopping an attack from Barnsley. So I was up in Westwood one day. And I noticed this new fridge in the cafe. And it was a... Sorry, I need to call. It was a Red Bull fridge. And I remember picking up this little can and saying, how much is that? And I think at the time it was like £3, something like that. And I remember thinking to myself, £3 for a can. This isn't gonna catch on. This company will be out of business in a year. So it's fair to say I was wrong on that one. Craig, puff puff give on an inhaler. I don't think you're gonna get much joy out of a brick and an inhaler, dude. It's not a vape, it's an inhaler. But yeah, it'd be a lot more fun if it was puff puff give, but unfortunately no, it's puff puff breathe. Frimpong. Soboslai. Rolfie said, in my opinion, our goal actually highlighted our problems this season. Frimpong has the ball on the wing, stops 3 passes sideways, and Soboslai shoots from distance where he usually don't score. It's a fair point. But I'll still take the goal though and appreciate it. Rio now cuts across the 18-yard box, squares it out to Chiesa, who goes out to Frimpong. Frimpong tries a low cross, it's drilled, bounces back, and Barnsley play their way out. Gakpo's putting his boot back on. So Szoboszlai slows it down, then gives it to Gakpo, back to Dom. If we win, we play Brighton. Who did they knock out? Just some lowly team from Manchester, mate. Do you know what I mean? One of the no-hopers. Robbo. Cross in, nobody there. Chested back to the Barnsley keeper. I did sit back and watch that United Brighton game actually. And it was yeah, I think Brighton deserved it, to be fair. Oh, unlucky. Soboslai tries a nice little outside of the football over the top that Barnsley just about defend. 34, almost 35 minutes on the clock. Still Liverpool leading by that Dominic Szoboszlai screamer of a goal to 0. Why is this Semenyo from Wish cooking Frimpong? I don't know. Nimrod Hurwitz, mate. I've no idea. But I've never really had faith in Frimpong as a right back. I've said this to you guys from day one, which is why I loved the wing back idea and the fact that he was playing further forward recently, because he looks far better at the final third end of the pitch. So yeah, that's why I like the idea. If eventually we do move to a back three and a wing back system, I think we get far more out of Frimpong in there than playing with a natural right back. Jones getting his shirt tugged there. Free kick Liverpool. McAllister out to Frimpong. Cuts inside. Strike. Oh, Jeremy Frimpong. Take a bow. Take it. Oh, wow. 2-0. Frimpong cuts in onto his left foot and absolutely rifles it into the corner. Well done, Jeremy Frimpong. See what I was talking about? Far better in the attacking end of the pitch. Well done, Jeremy. Lovely finish that. Well done, sir. Take a bow. Cuts inside. Left foot buries it. So Maka rolls it out to him. He's out near the touchline. Cuts into the penalty area. Goes inside onto his left and then just unleashes one into the near post corner. Beautiful finish from Frimpong. And Liverpool are 2-0 up. Lovely, Jeremy. Well done. Cuts inside. Left foot, past the keeper before. It's the sheer power of the shot, really, that left the keeper nothing he could do about it. And you see the celebration from Frimpong. Well done. Great goal. Well deserved as well. Craig's reaction to some comments are brilliant. Facial expression says it all. So yeah, sometimes I do try to throw in a facial expression to show if I'm being serious or not, you know. Opinion on Galaxy Minstrels. Oh, so, Jack, I could do a 10-minute segment on this because I love Galaxy Minstrels, but I would rather counters. Galaxy counters. Because I don't like the crispy shell part, but I do like the chocolate. So, yeah, I'll happily eat a bag of Galaxy Minstrels, but if I have the option, I'm having the counters. But anyway, what are we saying, folks? Do we agree or disagree on the counters versus minstrels? Or maybe, I don't know if you've tried both, but yeah, Galaxy minstrels are delicious. Right, so the poll we had is 40 million for Gallagher good? 60 say yes, 40 say no. But I was wrong, I'm not putting euro, it should be euro. Counters are elite, said Wayne. There you go. Who scored the second goal? Jeremy Frimpong, mate. Jeremy Frimpong, and an absolute beautifully taken goal it was as well. He picked up the ball. McAllister passed it out. He was very wide right. Comes towards the penalty area, kind of, dummies the defender, gets in onto his left foot and unleashes one to the near post past the goalkeeper. It was a great strike. Great strike. I didn't see Szoboszlai's goal. Was it good? Woo! Yes, sir. Good is an understatement. It was an absolute exquisite missile. Hellacious would be the word I was use in wrestling terms. Yeah, I'd say it's a hellacious strike from Szoboszlai. Ooh, counters or a whisper? Oh, I'm gonna say counters. Yeah, counters. I think Galaxy chocolate's nicer. They ruined. So I'm not going to say this as an anti-American statement, but it's going to come across from one. The Yanks ruined Cadbury's. And I'm not wrong. And I love America and its people, but you fuckers ruined Cadbury's when you came in and it was bought out by Mondelez or whoever it was, and they start with this oily shit in it. No, it's not the same. Get Cadbury's back to what it used to be. Oh, it's 2-1 and Dominic Szoboszlai's just giving Barnsley a goal. Fuck, lads. I don't even know how to describe what's just happened. So let me... How do I describe this? Dominic Szoboszlai has the ball in his own 6-yard box. The goalkeeper is behind him, as is another player from Barnsley. And Dominic Szoboszlai rolls the ball as a back heel to what I can only think in his mind is Georgi Marmadashvili, but in actual fact is the Barnsley player who then taps into the open goal. So Szoboszlai runs across the 6-yard box, tries the back heel, makes a mess of it, and it goes straight to the Barnsley player who's behind him. And it is the most idiotic goal I think I've ever seen Liverpool concede. It's just the height of stupidity. There's nothing else to say. There are 100 other things he could have done with that football there. But even if it had have come off, it makes no sense in my head. Yeah, so that happened. If you haven't seen it, I honestly can't describe it more to you than he picks up the ball inside their own penalty area, is running from right to left across the penalty spot towards the 6-yard box, and then for some reason, rather than either continue running in the direction he is or just clearing it long, he decides to kind of Cruyff turn flick it towards the keeper, but rolled it straight into the path of the Barnsley player who tapped it into the net. And even at that, I'm probably still giving him too much credit because it was worse than I've made it sound. So yeah, we don't like 2-0 leads. We know that anyway. But yeah, that's definitely one that that Dom won't want to see again. Now look, Dom's scratched now. He's cancelled out his worldly goal with that worldly mistake. So Dom's back to scratch for the game. So he needs to pull out another worldly now to put him back in the plus column. So worldly goal, worldly mistake. So he's level, scratch. Do you know what that goal is, lads? That's pure us and our mates playing five-a-side. That's what that goal was. Us and our mates playing five-a-side, thinking we're going to show a bit of flashiness here. That's the type of way that situation will come about. Rio is overhyped. I'm trying to be nice today, lads. I promise you I'm trying to be nice and not be an asshole, but you're not making it easy for me. You're talking about a 17-year-old kid, for fuck's sake. Rio's overhyped. I bet you better than you were at 17. Or are. So if you think he's over... Oh, Jesus, just go away. Somebody else deal with that fucking Egypt for me, will you? He's a 17-year-old kid. He shouldn't even be hyped or overhyped. He should be just left alone to play footy. Always somebody. Couldn't have a positive slant on that. No, let's knock the 17-year-old kid. Wow. Well, I'd say he's taken more people on in the first 43 minutes of this game than I'd seen Cody Gakpo take on in the season so far. So that will be my case for the defence, as in the defence of the player. Frimpong fires a cross in, it's over, hit. Cancel the contract extension for Dom. Now he's back to scratch, like I said. If he's on a goal bonus, then that goal bonus has to be taken back off him. Yeah. If he's on a goal bonus now, that has to be taken back for the mistake. What do you make of the United situation as a football fan? As a football fan, removing my inbuilt disdain of Manchester United, of course, because I'm a Red, I actually feel for the United supporters at times with the way that club is being run and how many idiots there seem to be from top to bottom making the decisions. Radcliffe has come in and made it worse. Like, tell me one decision Radcliffe has done that's actually gone in the right direction. Genuinely, every decision that man's been involved in's gone tits up, and it's been a PR nightmare. So, yeah, it's a mess, would be my take on it. And Radcliffe hasn't got a Scooby, what he's doing. And he hadn't got a Scooby at Nice either. But, you know, it is what it is there for the United fans, unfortunately, on that one. On the manager situation, I don't really know the ins and outs of it so much, but at some point, what Rashford said has to come true. They have to stick with somebody for a few years at some point and have faith. You know, whoever that may be, I don't know. We'll wait and see. But Robert said, I'm 39 today, bloke. Bloke? Come on, Robert. It's Craig. Come on, you should know my name by now. But either way, Robert, happy birthday to you. And if you're like me, Robert, you'll never get past 39, mate. It's 39, then 39.1, 39.2, etc., etc. But either way, dude, happy birthday to you. Right, free kick out there to Barnsley for a collision in the penalty area between one of their defenders and Curtis Jones. Gary said, absolute stinking arrogance, plus Macca's the same, plus Gomez. Can't even vote. Yeah, give the young lad a break. Exactly. I mean, Jesus Christ, I don't get it. I don't get it. This one's funny. Their goalkeeper must have insulted their players or something. Rockets. Like the amount, I just don't get the world, lads. There's just too many people in the world. Half time now, by the way. It is half time at Anfield, and Liverpool lead by 2-1. We opened the scoring with a Dominic Szoboszlai stunner, which was followed up with a Jeremy Frimpong stunner. And then their goal was also a stunner, but for the wrong reason from us. It was a stunning mistake from Dominic Szoboszlai, which led to a tap-in for them to make it 2-1 to the Reds at half-time. Anyway, to get back to this, why are so many people so quick to just run everyone into the ground in the world these days? Like, whether it's Rio's overhyped or just chill the fuck out. Like, can I just appeal to just decency for a minute? Like, in the world right now, and I think Dave Chappelle did a brilliant monologue at the end of his latest special. There's enough hate in the world now and enough anger. Just chill the fuck out and show people a bit of love. You know? Everyone's fed up of it. And I know I speak on behalf of everybody on the internet. Just stop with the negativity shit. It's everywhere. It's non-stop. It's relentless. And people are doing it to us. We don't need to do it to each other. You turn on the news, bang, it's in your face. You open up social media, bang, it's in your face. Negative, 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 negative. You're fucked. The world's fucked. Your job's fucked. The future's fucked. AI, you're done. It's gone. Just be nice to each other and me and each other. Let's have a laugh. It doesn't always need to be he's shit, he's washed. Either way, he's better than you. So if you're coming in to tell me he's shit or he's washed, you're still a fucking nobody sitting at home. So why are you getting so angry about it? Relax. Just please be nice. Jesus. Look who's talking. I'm always nice. See, the thing with me is, mate, I'm nice until somebody isn't nice to me. That's what all you fucking arseholes that keep having a pop at me forget. I'm a lovely fella until you start acting the mick. And in which case I have no threshold for your stupidity. But you'll never see me coming in and having a pop at anybody for no reason. I welcome everyone to our channel, no matter who they are, where they're from, who they love, who they support, what god they worship, what colour their skin is, I don't care. You're welcome in here. But if you don't show respect, I'm going to show you the same as you've shown me. None. But I'm not appealing to me. I'm talking about the kid who was writing off young Rio. He's 17. And he's like, he's overhyped, he's shit, he's 17. Chill. Let him be. You don't have to go on the internet every day to be negative to somebody. Go on the internet and try to make somebody laugh or smile. And you'll have a far more pleasant experience and a far better day. You know, every time I have an interaction with somebody in this life, I try my best to make them smile. If I'm at a checkout, I try to make the checkout operator smile. And there's a simple reason for it. Is you don't know what your negative comment can do. And your negative comment could be something as simple as, Craig, you're an idiot. And on 99 days out of 100, the Craig, you're an idiot, or Joey, you're an idiot, or John, you're an idiot, might be easily brushed off. But there might be that one day where that one person is really at their lowest. And that comment could be the thing that just, you know, really makes them have a bad day. But I promise you this, if you ever make somebody smile, even for that brief moment, even in the moment where they might be having the shittiest day, that'll last with them, and that will stick with them. And that light-hearted second could change everything. So just have a little think about it before you go on the internet to shit all over everyone all the time. Because there's a lot more we can do in a positive sense to make people laugh, you know. And laughter it's more fun for everyone. I'm glad Frimpong scored. He should pass less and take a shot and go more. Saw many opportunities in the Arsenal game where he could have. Yeah, on his left foot as well, by the way. On his left foot as well. It was a truly incredible strike. And I loved... This is where I'm a bit of a hypocrite, because I loved the celebration, but I don't think the celebration was because he scored against Barnsley. I think it was just the celebration because he scored and, you know, fair play. So yeah, great goal for him. But what is it about 2-0 and us, lads? What is it? We're wired not to accept being 2-0 up or something. It's strange. Even in Dom's mind, he gets the ball in his own penalty area and we're 2-0 up and he's like, it does not compute, can't be 2-0 up, must concede. Eddie Cox-Wilkins said, I think Barnsley are giving us a good game. Yeah, they are. You know, even if we take aside the goal that they scored, they've created quite a bit. If they hit the post in the first 30 seconds, and it's certainly not doing anything to me to give me more confidence about Arna. We should be winning. We are winning, but it should be easier work than we're making of it. So you'd hope you'd get in there second half now and say to the lads, look, get out there and show why there's two divisions between you and why you're on the money you're on and they aren't. Or I'll be looking to the bench to bring on people who can do it. Wayne said we need to stop shooting ourselves in the foot. Yeah, here's what I can't get, Wayne, right? I don't understand why he even contemplated doing what he did. Like, if you look at the situation as it unfolded and Dom gets the ball and he runs across the box, going back to the goalkeeper, it makes no sense. There wasn't really anybody in front of him, so we could have either carried on with the ball or we could have looked to play a progressive forward pass. That's what has me most in shock about the situation is, why did you even try it? Like, there was no need for it. But look, it is what it is. And, like we said, he scored a worldly goal. He's made a worldly mistake. It scratched it out. It is what it is. We move on. It's just kind of... It's more humorous than anything. Carl said, can't believe I'm 50 in March. What happened to my youth? There it goes. Oh, dude. Look, if I live to see 50, I'll be happy. I'll be if I live past 45, I'll be the first in my direct lineage in 3 generations to go past 45. So keep your fingers crossed for me. Peter said, saw your video about Nusa. I've followed him as a fellow Norwegian for some years. He's a real baller. I think we should go for him before the World Cup. He'll do the same as James Rodriguez did in 2014. Totally understand, Peter, the point you're making about pre-World Cup. And yeah, if we are interested in a player, and look, Nusa could be one of them, like you've mentioned, I'd be right with you on the pre-World Cup bids if possible, because if you have a belief in a player and they do go to the World Cup and light it up, even if that player was known beforehand to others, that's only going to increase the clamour for their signature. So I'm right there with you, Peter. Why is the hate for Rio? He tries so hard. Respect. I don't get it, Aaron. I don't get it at all. Like, we spoke about... Oh my God, I'm looking at this. I'm looking at the Szoboszlai stuff again, and I still don't understand it. And then now I'm looking at the expressions of the people. So there was a man behind him, and then he tried... I can't talk through it, lads. It's just silliness. Anyway, but on the Rio thing. So we spoke earlier on, and somebody said to me, I said something about Chiesa not having, the right passing ability and a few other bits that were off, and he said, but he hasn't been playing much. And I said, fair point, you're right. And then it comes to a 17-year-old, and people are already going in on him and saying he's overhyped and he's this, he's that. But he also hasn't played much, and even less than Chiesa. So, yeah, I don't get the hate. I don't know if it's the same elsewhere in the world, but here in Ireland, I can definitely speak with confidence about this in Ireland. In Ireland, we love to build people up and then drag them down at times, And I don't know if it's the same with Rio, but he's been hyped as a real young talent, and now some people want him to be Yamin Yamal tomorrow morning and don't have any patience for it. I don't think he's had the greatest of 45s. But again, I don't expect him to consistently be brilliant as he's developing as a footballer. But I'm just happy he's getting proper minutes out there on the pitch, because that's what he needs as part of his football education. Rich Baldy said, shout out to Vimal from Barnsley. First pro Tamil player stepping into Anfield must be a great feeling for a young man like him. Lay off Rio, we need him. Luke said, I was at the Fulham game and the difference in performance at Arsenal was giant, and now I feel like we've gone backwards again, lacking major consistency. So on the Arsenal game, Luke, my apologies. On the Arsenal game, I said in the build up to the game, I expected us to lose it, but I expected professional pride would mean the performance level would be higher. And that is exactly what happened. Now, I'm happy with the point, but you're right. You can't just do that when you feel like you've got a point to prove. Like, we're going there. They may be the champions elect, but we are the champions. And play with that. We need that every single game, mate. You're spot on. Yashi can't watch. He's revising. Wish him luck, Craigo. All the luck. And well done for revising, Yashi. Wish you the very best with the exams. And whatever happens, we're here waiting for you and proud of you. Sonder said, I think he maybe tried a fake back pass, drag back. I don't know what it was, but he had Gomez on the edge of the box. He could have played it, or he could have just booted it long. Either way, it's just one of those moments that every player will probably have in their career, and Dom's happened tonight. So one worldly goal, one worldly mistake. So he's on scratch. United fan, still love the channel. In my opinion, you've a great prospect in Rio. Just a shame he's learning from Gakpo instead of a Mane or a Diaz. I agree on, and I throw our manager's name in there as well, to be honest with you, mate. Like, I would much prefer he was, as you said, looking at, like, learning from Cody Gakpo. He will learn a lot, because Cody Gakpo mightn't be the most dynamic of players, but he's a very tactically astute player. But yeah, those little things that you've mentioned from the likes of Luis Diaz and Sadio Mane, some of those things are the flair that comes from within, and the bravery to try these things in these specific moments that makes them guys the standouts that they are. So really good point on that one. And on the United fan, still love the channel. Thank you. We get lots of fans from lots of different clubs coming across to come in and watch, and it means the world, so thank you. Appreciate that a lot. Right, folks, couple of things. If you can't, do hit that subscribe button for me. If you are new to the channel, welcome along. If it's your first time, you're very welcome. My name's Craig. I'm the usual host here. Connor fills in quite a lot for me these days as my health has gone a bit up and down over the last while. So you've seen Connor making a few more appearances, particularly with the morning videos, and doing a very good job, I should say. So thank you to Connor as well. But I just want you all to know you're very welcome in here. Whatever club you do support, wherever in the world you are from, however long you may be a Liverpool fan, it matters not one bit to us. Come in, have a laugh, enjoy yourself, and you're welcome along to our community. Except for Jordan Murray, the United fan. Jordan, you can fuck right off. Jokes, mate, jokes. Love you. Appreciate your support. I was playing for Venezia FC in Italy at 17. Would have killed to be even a minute for Liverpool like Rio. Can't believe some people say he's overrated. Well, firstly, Colin, well in on getting to a decent level and playing like you did, bro. Well into you. Proud of you for that one. And yeah, it's just a trend, Colin, a modern trend that I just don't understand. Just this incessant need to go on the internet every day and drag everybody down, And I would say it's probably a trait more for young men, if I'm being honest with it. And, I've talked about influences for people a lot on the channel over the years. And I think there are too many young people who are being lured into thinking that ways of behaviour and ways to treat other people are the norm when they aren't. So I would also urge people to maybe get better role models. And I'm not saying I'm it, because, you can make an argument either way with me. But it just needs to be more love in the world, especially now when we all need it. Like, put your hand out, extend a hand of friendship to somebody, and, leave the hate out there. It's too much of it. Let's show a bit more love and have a bit more fun in life. Yandy Amonde and Reed, both huge Liverpool fans. Yeah, they both are. I remember somebody asked, I think it was Guevara Reed, about either of the Manchester clubs, which one he'd prefer, and he said Liverpool, only Liverpool. So yeah, both Liverpool fans, both linked to the club. But what I don't know personally is I don't know of the levels of interest from our side in them. I have nothing personal that I can add that the journalists haven't already written. So. Philip said, that's why so many people have mental health problems, because of hate and negativity. Well, I'm one of those people with mental health issues. Now, mine doesn't come from the internet. Mine comes from deeper lying family trauma from when I was younger. But I can certainly say to you that it's forced me at times to have to take breaks from this. And I'm not on social media, so you won't find my account on Twitter, Instagram, on TikTok. I don't do any of it. You know, Anfield Agenda does, but I don't run it because I want to protect my mental health. But I'm also somebody who's old enough to know what is right and wrong. It's the impressionable younger people I feel bad for, and you're damn right about the mental health, mate. You're damn right. You know, people need to know that the norm is to smile, to love, to be happy, to enjoy your life, and to share that journey with others. So, yeah, please be kinder and nicer to each other, because you know the world will be a better place for you and for everybody else. Favorite player of all time? Mine's Neymar. So good. Oh, I feel like you're trying to wind me up. Your favourite player of all time is right up there with one of my most hated players of all time. I despise Neymar. Despise the fucker. My favourite of all time. So the answer is either Messi or Maradona. But there's a third player that I always throw into this conversation because I don't know why I started to love watching this guy, other than my French student brought me over a Marseille shirt before, which led me to start paying attention to Marseille, and the second half's underway, as you can see by the clock. So Jean-Pierre Papin was another one, and I got a signed Jean-Pierre Papin sent to me as a Christmas present from the Collector's Corner. So shout out to the team at the Collector's Corner for sending me that as a Christmas present. Thank you, because I told Harry, the guy who runs it, before in a chat that I love Jean-Pierre Papin. Oh, Chiesa, strike, blocked, cleared. So yeah, they'd be mine. Also Ronaldinho, love him. Kaká, or 9. But the answer is Messi or Maradona for me. Favourite Liverpool player of all time is Robbie Fowler. Then after that, I'd probably say Stevie G. Stevie Boy said, does Mo Salah come straight back into the side? So I've been thinking a lot about that, Stevie Boy. Header away. I'll sync up for everybody in a moment, sorry. I've been thinking a lot about that, mate. And I haven't come up with an answer that I feel comfortable giving yet. Because I think it depends on how we set up and what the system is. So if we're playing in a system that needs width, yes, he will. Right, so 47. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I'm a second or two ahead, so I'm going to pause my clock for 2 seconds. There we go. Yeah, so if we're playing with a 4-3-3, yes. If we aren't and we stick to a system with less width, I wouldn't mind seeing him as one of the 2 strikers as an option. Oh, Barnsley now on the attack. Down our left-hand side. Crossing its way over hit. Oh, it's well kept in though. It wasn't actually well over hit. It was just a deep cross that was kept in. Ball pulled back. Barnsley playing with a bit of confidence here. Move it back out to their left channel. Oh, Frimpong made the challenge, didn't get the ball. The player gets past him, fires in a low cross, and Liverpool just about clear it. Again, all Barnsley here in the opening exchanges of the second half. Come on, boys, wakey, wakey. Do you know what's an interesting question as well, though, Stevie Boy? Oh, there's a foul from Chiesa on the same guy that was given Frimpong hassle a minute ago. I wonder if the club are taking the Mohamed Salah, the Arne Slot, and the Xabi Alonso situation together and thinking, because we know that the situation with Salah isn't over. Whatever happens when he comes back to Liverpool, you know, if he's not playing, there's going to be an issue. So I wonder, will the whole Alonso situation play into that as well? Any news on Bajcetic? Really missing bossing the DMs. He's out injured again, Peter, unfortunately, mate. So, right, Barnsley free kick here, which means we're defending a set piece, which automatically makes me nervous. Cross in. It's a terrible cross, thankfully for us. Doesn't be the first man. Rio Engamo, though, puts a heavy touch on it. And then Liverpool are forced to defend a second situation. Now we've a chance to counter Robbo. Robbo's first time ball was overhit, though, and Barnsley defended easily. With Connor out, is Gay in for January? Well, according to the journalists, it's looking more and more likely that City are going to push for Mark Gay in January. So, yeah, we're gonna have to try and figure that one out. Because look, I'm extremely pissed off that we haven't signed a centre back yet, or aren't looking likely to. I know we've brought in some youngsters, some 17-year-olds, and that to go into Rob Page's under-21 side. But in what world was that offside? By the way, there was an offside given there against a Barnsley player who was at least 2 yards onside. Shocking officiating. Either or United stop existing or United get good. No, I don't play the mad hypothetical games, mate, because neither are in my control. I wouldn't want United to go out of business as a club. I don't want any football club to go out of business, except maybe Manchester City. But even then, I would feel for the hardcore City fans. You know, the genuine ones, not the ones that have to, root their Chelsea shirt out of their wardrobe to get to the Man City shirt. First time Szoboszlai made a mistake this season. Look, dude, don't worry about the mistake. It is what it is. Players make mistakes. Yeah, look, no one's going to judge Dom. Well, sorry, I shouldn't say nobody because there's always the internet idiots. But anybody with a rational brain's not going to be judging Dominic Szoboszlai off that mistake. It was just it was a bit of a brainless moment. But then again, his goal was the absolute other end of the spectrum, and it was absolutely world class. So, like I keep saying, yeah, we'll just call it evens for Dom now. The Reds on the attack. Frimpong, cross in. Keeper comes and claims it. Where's this one? I love you so much, Craig. What you do here is like a family. And when you accept for each other, it's amazing. We are very much a family on here, mate. We've always been building this as a community and not just a YouTube channel that talks about Liverpool. Sometimes people come in and get confused, and I always understand it. Oh, unlucky Rio. Sorry. Oh, good footwork, Virgil. Jones. Virg hit it. Unlucky blocked. Rio. Head up, Rio. Head up. Head up. Puts in a cross. Oh, it's a good cross as well. Put behind. Unlucky. Well done, Rio. Well done. A few Reds players. Good footwork by Virg. Goes out to Rio. Left side of the penalty area. Couldn't really see a Liverpool teammate, so gets to the byline, lifts one to the far post, and Barnsley put it behind for a corner. Yeah, sometimes people come in, they hear me talking about stuff that isn't Liverpool, or whether it's my life, social media, food, and get confused. But we've never just been a Liverpool channel. Like it's always been community based because, it means a lot to me. Corner in, cleared away, and then a foul. Rio and Gamoa lent into the back of the Barnsley player and gives Barnsley a free kick. Gakpo and Chiesa has about 30 pace combined, says Sonder. You seem very angry today, dude. By the way, mentally I'm refusing to acknowledge that there's only one goal in this game. Yeah, my head's mentally. I'm refused to acknowledge that in my head that we're 2-1 up here. My head keeps saying, "Relax, Craig. It's all good. It's all good. It's all good." I don't know how long though before I get sketchy if we don't get the third. Gakpo, good work from him. Jones, a little bit under hit, leaves Frimpong a lot of work to do, and unfortunately, it goes out for a throw in to Barnsley. Right, 54, almost 55 minutes on the clock. Still Liverpool 2, Barnsley 1. So what would you be doing now if you were Arno, lads? If you were the gaffer, what would you be doing looking at the bench? A reminder, by the way, that on the bench today for us, Alisson, Endo, Canade, Kirkes, Wirtz, Ekatike, Gravenberg, Neoni, and Ramsey. Look, if you want to kill the game off, I'm saying get Wirtz on there. If you're wanting a third goal to kill the game off, get Florian Wirtz on. Wirtz bring Flo and Ekatike on. Ekatike and Wirtz, said Mitchell. Wirtz and Ekatike, said the KNR. Wirtz for Andrew. Ekatike for Gakpo for Ollie. Another Liverpool corner, by the way, which Dom is coming across to take. Hopefully he doesn't try it like the last one that he tried to go deep and ended up putting it out for a throw-in on the far side. Barnsley are doing better than I expected, said Ghost Chopper. Same. Yeah, same. I thought this would be a comfortable 3-4-0 win. I predicted 2-0 because, I was trying to be respectful of my prediction, but deep down I'd... Oh, Virg just hit the bar. Great save by the keeper, I think, that touched it onto the bar. Ball came to Virg. He volleyed it down into the ground. I think the keeper gets a touch onto the bar then. Yeah, it's a great save. It's a great save by the keeper. So the ball comes across. It's flicked, comes to Virg. He volleys it into the ground, and then the keeper makes a great touch, or great save. Well done, goalkeeper. Rio. Gakpo. Back to Szoboszlai. Back down to Cody Gakpo. Dom puts in a cross, deep, it's headed away by Barnsley, drops to Curtis Jones, he heads it backwards, flicked back into the penalty area. Gakpo holds it up well, turns and shoots, but it's straight at the keeper. Why is it we always seem so shaky on the US manager? I don't know what you mean by that, mate. By the US manager. Here are the scorers. For us, mate, the first goal was scored by Dominic Szoboszlai. Second goal, Jeremy Frimpong. Don't actually know the name of the goal scorer for Barnsley, but it was an assist from Dominic Szoboszlai for that goal anyway. Flo, Hugo and Ibu coming on. So here we go. So Ekatike, Florian Wirtz and Ibu about to come on for the Reds. So hopefully this will give the lads a bit of a boost to get this one over the line and killed off. So we're making harder work of this than it should have been. That's a shocking clearance from Amardashvili. I don't know who he was trying to play it to, but there wasn't a Liverpool player within 10 yards of where the ball went. And now I think we'll see those changes. Right. So let's see. Right, Joe Gomez is coming off for Canade. which is an interesting one. You would have thought he must think Joe can't do the 90, because I would have thought he would have taken Virgil off and given Virgil a rest, but it's Gomez off for Canade. So Gomez off, Frimpong off. I'm trying to see who the third one is that's coming off, because the camera keeps moving all over the place. So Vert's on for Frimpong, Gomez off, Ibu on, and Ekitike then comes in for, I guess, Gakpo. But again, I haven't seen that yet, because I haven't seen the graphic. Chiesa. It's Chiesa that went off, sorry. So Chiesa, Gomez, Frimpong. They're the three that went off. So let's see how this goes and set up. Ekitike goes straight to the middle. Rio Engamoa comes out to the right wing. Gakpo goes out to his natural position in the left wing. Wirtz is playing in the pocket, and yep, Szoboszlai's gone in at right back. And immediately bundles over a player. Barnsley are screaming for a penalty. There's no VAR, lads, so if the ref says no, that's no. But again, it's that number 14 who's been quite tricky all the way through the game. He gets goal side of Szoboszlai, and I haven't seen a replay of it, so I genuinely have no clue as to whether it was a dive or whether it wasn't, but I know the ref didn't give it. But I haven't seen a replay of it, so when I see the replay of it, I'll talk you through it. But just to confirm, Rio's gone into the wide right position, Dom's gone right back, and Wirtz has gone into the number 10 role with Gakpo pushed out to the left. Still haven't seen a replay of this penalty shout, by the way, so I'm still none the wiser on that one. Oh, Jesus, shocking ball again. This time it's Jones who gives it straight to a Barnsley player. Right. Reds in possession. Jones to McAllister. He goes out wide right to Rio Engamoa. Rio now. Goes back to Dominic Szoboszlai. Canade. Across to Virgil. Out to Gakpo. Here's the replay of this incident. Yeah, it's 100% a dive. 100% a dive, that penalty shout. Nothing in that whatsoever. By the way, I loved what they did there on TNT Sport. They didn't show us the whole screen image. They just gave us a nice little square with a zoomed in on the two players. I like that. I wouldn't mind seeing that a bit more from TV companies when they're showing replays. That was better. Like, it was zoomed in on just the areas we needed to see. Rio. Jones. Strike. Deflection. It's gone wide. Liverpool corner. Seeing the replay, catches the back foot. No. What you see on the replay is the back foot getting thrown in to Szoboszlai. Watch. There. He already starts stumbling, and then he connects. Dom gets the ball. Watch Dom's foot. Or does he? Every different angle of this gives me a different opinion, by the way. Every different angle gives me a different opinion. Sorry. I'm trying to be as honest as I can with you, but I'm going to replay this back, rewind it. Because every angle I've looked at this, I've given myself a different decision. 1 second. Right. So that one looks like a dive. This one. That one looks like there's a touch on the ball. This one now. No. I don't see a connection with Dom to him. I really don't. I see his... No. For me, that's not a penalty, and I'm going to explain why. So I'm not denying that there's contact between the two players, but I'll talk you through it in a second. Right. Corner. It's cleared. So there is contact, but the contact isn't initiated because Dominic Szoboszlai's moved his foot towards tripping him or anything. If you looked at it, the Barnsley player's stumbling. Oh, Virgil's missed the sitter of a header from 6 yards. Ball's crossed in, Virgil 6 yard out, tries to just nod it back across goal and puts it the wrong side of the post. So the Barnsley player stumbles as he gets into the penalty area. And it's that stumble that changes his pattern of run. And in that change of pattern of run, he then collides with Dominic Szoboszlai's foot. And that's my take on it. You know, like I said, it's open to interpretation. And I'm not saying if it had been a penalty, there would have been a decent shout in there. But I've looked at it 3 times and changed my mind 3 times. So I guess you can stick that one firmly on the fence for me. And look, if you're new to our channel, you know, I'm not somebody who blindly just agrees with everything that goes to Liverpool's way. I'm not. I try to give you an honest view on everything. And my honest view on that one is I've looked at it 3 times from 3 different angles and I still don't know. So if it had been given, I wouldn't have been sitting here screaming that it was an absolute dive. I'm trying to put... If I'm Barnsley fan, I'm probably screaming for a pen. Liverpool fan of me says no pen. The unbiased person in me is on the fence, and that's the truth. I'm not saying it definitely is or isn't. I am 100% unsure. And Dom holding a shirt doesn't mean anything, by the way. Malty. The holding of shirt thing, that's a whole different conversation where we have to get into the force of it, how long he's holding it, and a few other things. But my focus was just on the legs and trying to figure that out. But even at that, as I said, in all honesty, I seen 3 different angles and had 3 different opinions. And I said there's no VAR in this, so it was referee's decision was final. Another corner here to Liverpool. And look, to the people in the chat who's saying it was or it wasn't the pen, I'm not going to argue with any of you. Like I said, to me... One sec. James Pearce just tweeted, say, replay showed the ref got the penalty decision right. Commentators in the game are saying it was a clear penalty. So you can see that there's a split even there. So the commentator saying penno, James Pearce saying not penno. I'm saying really don't know. But let's do a poll on it. So 1 second. Right. Oh, so Connor's got there before me. Except I would have put in the unsure option. Connor's just gone yes or no. So there's a poll up there in the chat now. Was it a penalty? Yes or no for you? Rio? Oh, shot blocked. I was going to put an unsure option in because I was unsure on it. But Connor's just gone for the straight yes-no option. So there is a poll now in the chat. Do you think it was a penalty to Barnsley? Yes or no? Cross in. Put behind by Robertson. Barnsley corner. Anfield seems subdued. That's because we are subdued, mate, as a fan base in general. Like, excuse me. Whatever about this performance again being another meh one, nobody's convinced by Arner. And that's in my opinion, that leads to some of the lack of real enthusiasm inside Anfield. Again, they're probably sitting here going, how are we still struggling here 2-1 against Barnsley, with all due respect? Barnsley, corner routine. Oh, headed away by Dominic Szoboszlai. And again, you could see that a mile away. Barnsley had a player that pulled back to the edge of the box, unmarked, and yet again, Liverpool didn't put a player within 10 yards of him. Ball gets played to him, he gets a strike away, and then Dominic Szoboszlai blocks it with a header about 2 yards in front of the goal line. Fuck me. Almost at the 70th minute mark, still Liverpool 2, Barnsley 1. Do I speak Irish? Kúplafuckle. Which, to anyone that doesn't, it means a couple of words. I certainly couldn't hold a conversation in Irish, no. You'd have far more chance of me holding a conversation, even though that'd be a stretch, in French than you would in Irish. Ball around the corner from Verts to Rio. Oh, keeps it in, but then kind of slips, and Barnsley clear. As Rio strained himself. Rio looks like he might have done his groin here. Looks like he hyperextended and maybe pulled his groin a bit or something, because he looks like he's trying to stretch something out, or if he's feeling something, keep an eye on him. In possession here now. His body language seems okay at the minute. Cross in, keeper, well done. Yeah, Rio's gone down now. I knew I could see him feeling something. He's gone down holding either his hamstring or something on his left leg. It's when he hyperextended himself here. Yeah, you could immediately see him grabbing for his groin area, which looks like he's overstretched or hyperextended something here. Sorry if discussed already. In Canada, working so loosely following along. With Xabi available, think that changes Hughes's plans. I don't know the answer to it, Hunter, is the actual truth, but I hope it does. Because now there's no more conversation that there isn't anyone available, right? That's now no longer, there's nobody good enough available. That's bullshit. So that's out the window. So the truth is, I don't know what the club's thinking will be on it, but we should know a little bit more over the next day or two. Pen to save your life. Who takes it? Julian D for me. Penalty for my life. Who takes it? James Milner. That's it. Simple. Anyone to take a penalty with my life on it, I'm giving that to Jimmy Milner. Thank you very much. Commentator saying Stonewall Pen, said Jack Nichol. Yep, look, like I said, I've looked at it, mate, with the hindsight of replay, multiple different angles, and I've come to different conclusions. So I'm not going to be much help to anybody here, because I can understand how somebody sees a penalty, how I can understand how somebody doesn't, and I can understand how somebody's on the fence about it. For me, I am definitely on the fence, and I'm not doing that to cop out. That's honestly where my head's at with it. This performance is a sackable offence. Alonso in. Thank you, mate. Appreciate you. Right, so we said, do you think it should have been a penalty? And we nearly have 2,000 votes on it. We'll let it get to 2,000 votes before we end it. But if you haven't voted, please do. No academy player in sight against a team bottom of the League One. I know. It's a fair point you've made, mate. It's a fair point. And still unable to, batter them. You know, you've seen City go out and win, 10-1? And, we're having to bring off Ekitike, Wirtz and Kanate to try and see out against League One Barnsley. It's not, look, the whole situation with Arnold with Liverpool hasn't been good enough, because his style of football is dog shit, and I don't care I do care what other people have to say, but nobody's going to change my mind on this style being dog shit. It's just, yeah, It's passive. I don't like the lack of anger and aggression in our play. I don't like the lack of what's the word I'm going to look for here? Risk. There's too little risk in our play for my like. Busy media, how are you, mate? Said, God, I hate this football. No passion is another good word. But what I was looking for was there's just no drive. Like, you know, under Jurgen will be wave after wave of attack. This just feels like, let's keep moving it around. And how he thinks it isn't boring is what really does have my mind boggled. Like, Arnott defending his style the other day, Ty said he doesn't play boring football. You kind of fucking do, though, mate. Like, as a fan, I find it boring. Oh, Barnsley giving the ball straight back to Liverpool here, but it's okay because Gakpo's giving it straight back to Barnsley. Right, some more to go through. Saunders said, Craig, squad is looking thinner and thinner, unlike me. Hope we get some bodies in for January. Any more goals in this game? Where do you get the Adidas clothing, by the way? Where do I get the Adidas clothing? Anywhere. From Adidas, Sports Direct, wherever. This particular top is like my comfort blanket. It's my, like, when I'm feeling shitty, it's like, you know, that most comfortable thing you own. That's this hoodie for me. But yeah, I just buy it off Adidas, mate. I wish I had a brand deal or something that got me a discount off them, but I certainly don't. And there's a sitter miss by Florian Wirtz. Blasted over the top from a few yards out. So again, we're still making hard work of this one. Name one player you'd have from each Premier League team. I don't have the time, mate, to go through every team and take one player. I don't mean to be rude. I just don't have the time to do it now. I'll try some of the big ones for you real quick. So City, I'd take Rodri, or Haaland, obviously. Arsenal, I'd take Declan Rice. Spurs, Mickey van de Ven. Who else we got? Villa. Probably take. Sorry, Liverpool on the attack with Maka. Strike. He's blown it. Yeah, sorry. For Villa, I'd probably take Morgan Rogers. What other teams are there? United. Trying to be fair about it. I wouldn't mind bringing in the young centre back that they got from France that I wanted us to sign. Yeah, off the top of my head, that's kind of it. Unless there's any other clubs on. Well, there's more clubs, but I just haven't got the brain bandwidth to think about it all. Chelsea, I'd easily take Moise Caicedo in a heartbeat. Would be without a doubt to play. Lenny Yoro, thank you, the hopeful guy. Yeah, Lenny Yoro probably from United. Or Brian Mbeumo. I'm not going to rewrite history. I'm a fan of Brian Mbeumo. I think he's a great footballer. Yeah, Caicedo easily. Most people may say if they were looking at Chelsea, they might go for Cole Palmer. But for me, what this Liverpool team needs, it'd be Moise Caicedo every day of the week. Philip scored against us and he's an ex-Liverpool youth player. I know I told Connor to put him on the thumbnail for that reason. Don't know if he did or didn't in the end, but yeah, we had that conversation beforehand. Hey man, just want to say I'm a huge fan. I'm an Arsenal fan in Oz. Love your stuff. Apologies for Nelly the other day. Not a great look for us. Oh, Martinelli, sorry. That's not on you, dude. That's not on... You didn't do that, to be fair. I just thought it was... I just thought it was a shithouse move from one pro to do to another, but I really do appreciate your kind words and thank you so much for your super chat and thank you so much for your kind words about the channel. Oh, hang on. Oh, jeez, we're making hard work of this again. And yeah, appreciate you and lots of love over to you and Oz. Charlie said only 2-1 against Barnsley, hopefully 3-1 at least. It's 2-1 in like 11 minutes to go. And Gakpo was offside there anyway on the initial phase, so he got back onside and we're a few phases later, and then he gets a header. But just, yeah, look, either way, whatever way we dress this up, lads, a win is a win is a win and all that stuff, but it's yet another one of these, fuck me, this has been hard watch, right? And how many times have we said that to ourselves this season as Liverpool fans? Wirtz, he then passes it straight into another player. So with 2,800, 60% of people said they don't think it was a penalty, 40% think they do. Now obviously, look, this is Liverpool fans in the main answer in that poll, so I'll leave it open to others to continue to debate on. I very firmly am on the fence on it. If it had been given, I wouldn't have been screaming appalling decision. With it not given, I'm not going to be sitting here screaming, dive. At first, I thought it was a dive. Then I thought there was contact. Then I thought he got the ball. So I'm still none the wiser, to be honest. Samat said 11 games unbeaten, though. Yes, mate, I know. But it's the most unconvincing 11-game unbeaten streak in the history of football. Let's be honest, it's shocking. Like, it doesn't tell you half the story. But it is a fact, though. You're not wrong. Christian, you Ministry said, regretting coming out. I was fooled by the lineup. I'm just wondering what way this is going to be received, this result, if we hang on to win this, let's say 2-1. Because it kind of does nothing for either side, right? It doesn't convince you that Ireland is turning a corner. It does keep we're still unbeaten in 11 lock going, because that's also through. But this should have been a 4-5-1 or 0 easy stroll in the park with the team he put out. So it's almost blown up in his face because he's gone strong and yet we haven't delivered a strong performance. Which probably speaks to his mindset of knowing that if he had have not gone strong, he has fuck all faith that we'd have got a result. So yeah, this is probably, as I'm weighing it up here in my head, this probably adds itself more to the negative column than the plus column for Arna. What would you guys say in the chat right now? Has this made things better or worse for Arna? So just better or worse? One word answers. Has it made it better or worse for Arna Slot? Did you see you were in the 442's animated song? Yeah, I've been in, I think I've been about 10, maybe more, of the 442's vids, which I love. And thank you to Dean and the team for including me in them because, it's very kind of them and I love 442. So I did see it, yep, and I'm always proud to be in there. So most people overwhelmingly are saying worse. Wow. Holy shit, I didn't think it was going to be... Oh, wow. Holy fuck. Yeah. I think categorically, excuse me, it's undoubtedly worse. There's one or two betters, and I'm gonna assume they're from a non-Liverpool fan because my God. Wow. Yeah, fair play. Thank you for answering, by the way. Thank you to everyone for taking the time to share your opinion. I didn't think it was going to be that one-sided. Stu said, worse, why? Has anyone ever felt this come? Stu, I think, mate... Oh, hang on. Here's Wirtz. Goal, 3-1. Florian Wirtz, well done. Well done. Wirtz with another one. Now that I'm delighted with for him. Well done, Flo and Ekatike. Delighted for Wirtz to finish that off. So Stu, to get back to your talk, mate. Yes, regardless of the competition, Stu, you're right. But people are just fed up of his brand of football, mate. and everything being hard work. Surely you can understand that part of it. Lovely finish that from Wirtz to make it 3-1. Jones, the Ekatike, lovely little flick from Hugo into Wirtz, and Wirtz curls one in. Lovely goal, which again relies on individual talent over any of the coaching stuff, Stu. But yeah, great goal, that lovely flick from Hugo, and a delicious finish from Florian Wirtz. So yes, Wirtz has started to find those goals now. So roll on, roll on. But yeah, Stu, sorry, to go back to that, mate. I think people are just fed up, mate. Everything feels like hard work. And you're right, the competition, mate, to be fair, can throw up some crazy results. But, you know, if ever there was a potential confidence builder, this could have been it, you know. And I agree with everyone that says the football stinks, because it does. It's just not. It's not a brand that Liverpool fans are falling in love with. Raekwon, how are we, dude? Said, Craig, you already know there'll be people giving excuses for this performance. None of these games gives me confidence. I'm in the camp of I'm still in no way convinced by the manager whatsoever. And even if you look at that goal, I would argue that goal came through great individual talent more so than any type of good coaching build-up. But look, I'm convinced. And I would sack him tomorrow and bring in Alonso if that was possible. Mr. Acentino said, this style has made Liverpool background material. Slot is awful. Get him out. And while Stu, of course, I do respect that you view this differently, mate. And I genuinely do respect that. I do have to say that I do think sometimes... How do I say this? Because I don't want to be offensive to somebody that is in no way rude. I think you need to understand that other people see it a little bit differently at times, bro, than perhaps you do, because I fully appreciate your sincerity in the way you stick up for the manager, but I don't know. It's just not. It's not. There's just something that doesn't feel right about it all, Stu. Something that just isn't connecting with us all. Just daydreaming about how much Alonso could get out of Rio and Jeremy. Or Flo and Jeremy, excuse me. Papering over the cracks is a good phrase. We were so good last year, said that meme guy, and the fall off and change is so much worse. Yep. And the fall off started from March onwards. Let's not forget that. That's one thing I'm adamant on. Yes, we won the league, but look at every other competition. He was out-coached and out-fought in the League Cup final, and we were beaten. He was knocked out in the first knockout round of the Champions League. Here comes Trainee only now for some garbage minutes. I hate when he does this with young players. Gives Trainee only 3 minutes, and now he'll be able to say that he gave Trainee only an opportunity. This is an Arne CV stacker. That's what I call this. So Mac is coming off. Replaced by Trainee only, and I absolutely love Trainee only, by the way, great footballer, but this is Arna's but he's played this amount of games so he can talk bullshit in press conferences. Love the channel, Craig. You've been FSG out for a long time. Considering how much they've invested in the team at the end of last season, are you still FSG out, or is it just Arna's fault? So my FSG out thing, mate, you know, for somebody that does obviously know my background on the channel, I said one promise and I made it in the summer, and I said if FSG step up and support the manager financially, you won't hear me calling them out. And I've been a man of my word. I have done nothing to call out FSG since they backed the manager, because that was my biggest gripe with them. They've done lots of good stuff that, whether you know this or not, I did always credit them for. But it was the not backing a manager shit that I wasn't having. And the fact that this argument that the money wasn't there, that I was never on. Right now, I would very firmly in the, sorry, we're just dealing with a corner. No complaints. You know, other than I think they should be firing the manager, which is probably Hughes and Edwards thing more than a John W. Henry thing. I think they've stepped up and done what I've wanted them to do. So certainly there's no, I have no want, desire, or need to push an FSG sell-up narrative. No, I want them to back the manager, and they have. I hope people know this about me. My opinions are always available to be evolved, and I am at an FSG out, and that's it forever. Everything about me is based off forming opinions based off the information I had. If the information changes, my opinions evolve along with those. And I fully credit the owners for backing the manager in a big way. And I think it's the manager that has fucked up more than the owners since the way the style has gone this season. Craig, you're completely correct with what you just said. You think if they'd given Klopp the same backing. Oh, but what I also don't know is if there was an avenue there for Jurgen to spend it and he didn't want to. So, like I said, we're only as fans working with mixed information that we have. And what we know is that we didn't see the signings with regards to, without it being one out, one in, or sell to buy, that gave Jurgen as much money. But we don't know why. So we have to work off the information we do have, which is that we're just not seeing the club spend the money. But then we did see them spend it. And like I've promised, you have not seen one fucking video from me since the summer that has anything negative about FSG in it. Now my anger is with the manager. We have a great chance to revive our attacking power with Alonso. With all due respect to Arna, it's just not working out as it should. Thank you. Sander said, Chelsea 5-1, City 10-1. It's more about the performance in these kind of games, though, Craig. Also, wish we saw one or two more youngsters today. Much love. By the way, can I just excuse me, on the FSG thing, can I ask you guys a question? Have you noticed that I've delivered on what I've said? If FSG spend, you won't hear me moaning about them and calling them out. Have you guys noticed that I've backed that up? Like, because I've made sure I haven't, because my opinion is, well, they've backed the manager. What more can they do at this point? So, I hope at least it's been noticed that I've changed my tone in it. I might get angry at them a little bit down the line, though, because if they don't start sacking the manager. Yes, thank you. Cool. As long as you guys have noticed, that's all I care about. Because, by the way, when I say things like FSG out, right, just for an argument's sake, oh, hang on, Barnsley in behind us here. Canada's got some good recovery pace, and it's a corner. So let me just give you an insight, right? I'm an intelligent fella. I know the second I say FSG out, I'm alienating half a fan base. The second I say it. So if I was doing things for numbers or stuff like that, it's not the right angle to go down. Same with the Arna stuff. Me moaning about the manager immediately alienates half our fan base. But I only ever give an honest view on how I feel, and I don't think about what the reaction's going to be for that. So if I was based off numbers, money, and growing the channel, I just kept stum about FSG and never said that negative, because it would have led to me having a far easier and probably more profitable existence. But I only want to give my true opinions. That's why I love the freedom of what I have to do. Cross in here again. Oh, Jesus, a header over the bar. That's for a team that are 2 divisions below us and down the bottom of that division. How many chances have we given up against them here today? Because it's been quite a few. They hit the post in the first 30 seconds. They've scored from a mistake of ours. But there's been 2-3 other good, decent chances. There's been a penalty show. Yeah, it's not being an embarrassment in any way for Barnsley, and Barnsley fans should be deservedly and sincerely, proud of their players, because they've really come and put up a good fight. Wirtz now squares it across, 4-1. Hugo Ekitike this time. Another one for Hugo with the assist from Wirtz. And this is where the class starts to shine through. You know, the Barnsley legs get a bit more tired. Liverpool have the quality to bring off the bench. And now that quality is starting to show, which is good to see. We want that. There's a disagreement somewhere here. I don't know what it's over, but either way, it's irrelevant. It is 4-1. Wirtz with the assist. And what's it on? What are they talking about? Oh, he looked offside. That looked offside, lads. I think they're moaning that there was no flag. But you can only play to the flag. And Wirtz squares it and Ekitike scores. Trigosh said, "You're a man of your word, Craig. You're solid. Followed Redmen TV, but I've come to my senses and saw them for who they were. Anfield Agenda works." Well, look, I'm not here to knock anybody else, mate. And like I said, there's different styles of Liverpool content for so many different people. It is all over. And Liverpool have beaten Barnsley by 4-1. And we know that we will be taking on Brighton and Hove Albion in the 4th round at Anfield. So look, yeah, as I said, each to their own with regards to who they watch for content. But look, let me just say this to you. I appreciate you coming over and giving us a try. And I appreciate that you're enjoying the content. Thank you. I really do mean that, mate. Liverpool is showing that buying great players doesn't always result in a great team, and playing with a chemistry can't be successful or at least struggle to win. Right, job done, ladies and gents, on that one. The Reds in to the 4th round, where we know we are taking on Brighton and Hove Albion at Anfield. We will be back with our match reaction in 60 seconds time, or we'll try and pick the bones out of this one. And, you know, we'll talk about the weekend's game against Burnley. We'll talk about the Alonso situation, the transfer window, and lots more. As always, appreciate your support. Don't forget to drop a like and hit that subscribe button if you can before we head off. And I'll see you in 60 seconds time for the match reaction.